Oh, I don't know about that. Immigration in itself. There's just too many people. That's
Tell him, Jeff.
On the mountains and the valleys. Nazis are not. Refugees are welcome here. Nazis are not. Refugees are welcome here. Nazis are not. Refugees are welcome here. Nazis are not. Refugees are welcome here.
Get some more water. No.
All right. So what I'm going to do here, just so you guys know, what I'm going to do, because I'm not in Sydney, that's, yeah, there you go. You can see all the, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through all these channels and we'll just see what is going on, what happened. It's getting a little bit late in the afternoon, so a lot of these protests will probably be winding down. But let's just look around.
Oh yeah.
He's coughing. What we'll do? Hey Khalifa. Hey Khalifa. Why are they racist shits? Come on. Wait, Khalifa or whatever the fuck your name is. Come on and talk to me. Come on. Leave a comment. Fucking what I'll do is I'm gonna leave a link, invite guest, and then you can click on this link and you can come on and explain why we're racist shits. Australians are the least racist on planet Earth, you fucking cunt. You fucking cunt. Fuck you. Come on. Show your face. Show your face, you fucking cunt. We've had enough. Come on and tell us why we're fucking racist when everything's being taken from us. Not me. I'm a white Australian. We've been the least racist, but now it's time that we become racist. Come on and explain who's fucking racist. Actually, being called racist is a fucking badge of honor now because we need to defend our fucking country. Oh, okay. Okay, my bad. Well, who's racist then? Who? Why you say racist in the chat then? we're the ones that are supposed to be racist, right? Because we're the ones out. Well, okay, let me explain. Because the different races and the different people that are coming on, they're coming into Australia, they become political. And Australian people, what we've always done, no, actually, our natural resources are being stolen by immigrants. That's actually how it works. They come in, they get look at the Jewish immigration. Jewish people that have come to Australia, they work together in their little community, and then what they do is they find positions of power. And how they make their money in Australia isn't within Australia. They make their money abroad. So they find a market abroad, then they co-opt the natural resources within the country. They get those companies, whatever, and then what they do is they co-opt that company, and then they do an import-export business, and they make all their money from us. And then they get enough money to buy off the politicians. So in fact, it all goes. So the people that are saying, look, no more immigration, what they're doing is they're going back to the core of the issue. And also, while you're here, I just want to explain to you what I'm experiencing abroad, because I'm abroad now. And, part of the reason why I took off too was just an immigrant stole what my grandparents built. I have those videos there, and this immigrant married my father. I grew up as a single. I had a single mother, and she took my shit. She took my what my grandparents built through the divorce court because she divorced my father. So I was like gonna lose. I was at the edge of like losing my shit, and it was all due to immigration. So many Australians are losing their jobs. We're losing our livelihoods. We we're losing everything. And one thing that I can add to this, I'll put that up there just so big misunderstanding. But one thing that people don't know that I can add to I got a lot of value to add now by being abroad, is that a lot of Australians probably think, oh, okay, when I can sell my house or I can sell my property and then I can leave, But the thing here is I'm abroad now, and I got to tell you, things are kind of, a lot of these Asian countries, they're getting more wealthy, and they're becoming more independent, and they're becoming more nationalist, and they're becoming far more racist than Australians are. So over here across over here in Asia, I've just been bouncing around different countries, and one thing, exactly. A lot of people don't own a house, and that's due to immigrants coming in and renting everything and just propping up the wealthiest people in Australia. And you know who the wealthiest property owner in Australia is? It's Harry Triguboff. Harry Triguboff is an Israeli. He's a Jewish. Harry Triguboff is worth like $30 billion. He is definitely in bed with politicians. He's definitely in bed with the Liberal Party. He has a lot of money. This guy even went to Ukraine before the war happened, because it seems like he had inside information, and he started getting all the Jews out of Ukraine before Russia invaded. It's almost like he knew. This is Australia's richest man. People don't even talk about this piece of shit. And what he wants to flood Australia with so more people, Yeah. So let me explain. There's nowhere else to go. So what happens is, if we get just layers and layers of immigration and violence, violent Africans, and what we're going to do is we're going to have nowhere to go, really. And what I see happening in the future, not too distant future, is white Australians legit being not only a minority, but having to suffer from genocide in Australia, and everybody in the entire world justifying it, saying, oh, well, you did it to the Aboriginals, so it's okay to rape your women and murder you and enslave you. We're not going to have anyone that's going to defend us. We're literally on our own. The Americans are going to turn around and go, oh, well, they genocided all the Aboriginals, so it's okay to kill all the white men. Like, legit. Like, we are legitimately going to get murdered in Australia. And this is not hyperbolic. This is not crazy. I have a long history of predicting geopolitical events. And being quite accurate, and it's on the channel. Even recently, the stock market, 7th of April. Check that video on the 7th of April and then correlate it to the stock market. I got a very good track record. We're in danger. It's serious. So let's just have a look. I want to look around and just see what's going on. I'll turn the audio on. I'm going to be getting myself a coffee. We'll probably run this stream as long as we can. But you kind of get an idea. See, there's a lot of white Australian police here.
Oh, they got the freaking.
So
the
this
riot
channel
shows out in Melbourne.
This channel is, what is this channel? It's
Curious ba kayo sa proseso ng pagiging movie trader? Ako si Kuya Kim
Channel.
at susubukan ko kung papasa tayo sa
It's
certification. Samahan niyo ako.
It's a very weird channel. Exit full screen.
Those are the Australian. Thank you for the rose. And then that's for the pro-Palestine.
A bit glitchy, isn't it?
Oh, the Palestinian
So they're
guys
trying to
across
keep
the
it
way.
on this big barricade here.
Portland Andy.
This is not a race issue. It's not a color issue. It's not against any one type of person at all. At all. This barrier is made of many nationalities, and they're the only reason your heads aren't being pulled off right now. Not because of me, but because there is some idiots in this crowd, and there is a little bit of bad people in every.
Oh, Khalifa, yeah, I saw your messages. You could join the Telegram group. Join the Telegram group
Michael
and maybe
Newman
leave a
super
message
chatted
or
$10
something.
for the scooter
That's a
fun
new
buddy
one.
or lunch or something. Glad you didn't eat shit last night.
Me
What's
too.
the status on the ride?
I just gotta email him tonight or tomorrow. I've been sent my email out. I've been.
Is that on the
just pretty
banner?
much
Is it?
laying
I
down
don't see
watching
the banner.
football all day. I'll email him soon. And we'll get a status update. Thank you, Michael, for the tenor.
Melbourne.
It's true, bacon is good.
Okay, this is what I was talking about. I called it basically day one. These quote unquote Nazis, they're not real. They're not real Nazis. No one with, any brain cells would be a Nazi. The Anzacs fought the Nazis. The only people that would be a Nazi would be federal agents or Zionists trying to create a narrative that all white men are Nazis so that it's okay to kill us. We're already being flooded with immigration that wants to kill us. And then these Nazis, don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to, a lot of men that aren't very smart that are going to join this. You can hear it in the crowd, no more Nazis. Like that's the thing. It's like we're going to an anti-immigration protest to try and stand together, and this Nazi narrative is already tearing the protests apart, and that is part of the Fed's goal. And the Feds are the Zionists. No doubt they're funded by the Harry Triggerboffs, the billionaires in Australia that want more immigration. They want to derail these protests, and until the end of this would not go out. Australian people will not die in a big bang. We will die in a whimper. It will be just a slow grind until we've got nothing left. They'll boil the frog and then eventually you die. And the entire time you're just going to be suffering and grind it out. And they know that the best weapon that we have is mass unity right now on the streets everywhere, fighting the government and stopping the immigration. They know that we can stop them, and they know that with even 1,000 angry white men, we can literally shut the whole thing down. They know that. That's why they've got these Nazis out. They've got the Antifa out. They've got all of the minorities mobilized against us. We got all these Africans and black men in Australia getting on social media, calling us racist. They're all out to stop us because they want to take everything that we've got.
The other speaker is just saying like, fuck you, fuck off or something. I don't know.
Find it, now they go!
Bacon is great, guys. 100%. I don't want to be in the middle no more. Danger. There's no danger here. Look at him. I'm trying to get a good angle.
Michael Newman super chatted $10. Are we both did the same watching football all day? My Nebraska Cornhuskers won, so I'm happy about that on Thursday. How'd your Ducks
This will
do
not
and
end
how's
in
the
15
leg?
minutes.
Legs doing all right, doing better. The hour, I would say. The Ducks, dude, they smashed today. It was
It's funny. One of the channels that's getting the most click,
59 to 13.
some American.
They kicked Montana State Bobcats ass. Thank you again, Michael. We almost put up 60 points today.
So look, Bruce, this is where we disagree. This is where we disagree, because if you just focus on the numbers of immigration, if you just focus on the minutia, you just focus on one little problem here, another problem there, you're going to constantly be arguing different points all the time, while the government and the people in control take everything from you. The core issue, the core uniting thing to focus on is white men. And people are going to call you racist for that. But the thing is, that's the core problem that we have to deal with. And as soon as people realize that, because what I'm telling you right now is eventually we will have no choice but to focus on race. Because as someone in Asia, what all of these Asians are doing is focusing on race. They're hating on everybody else. They're hating on white men. They're hating on Indians. They're hating on Jews. They're hating on the Chinese. And they're very nationalistic in Asia right now. And the core issue in Asia, because I'm here and most people don't see it, so I've got a lot of value to add to you guys. Race is everything to these fuckers. Race. And I'm shocked, because I've traveled to some countries where they've got a lot of immigrants from these countries going to Australia. And in Australia, you don't know what they're really like. I'm in their country and they're fucking racist pieces of shit. These are dogs. They're fucking disgusting people. I can walk down the street and be either harassed, yelled at, or bullied by like 10 different Asians in one little trip to the shops. The only benefit of me being over here is that my money at the moment, before our economies collapse, can go a long way. So I can live in legit 5-star luxury. But the racism, it's building in Asia right now. And everything is built around race for these people. Everything is built around race for these people. Just so you know, let's not be naive and think that there's anything else going on here. It is purely
Listen,
race.
guys, it was Bingo that put this thing together. He's the one that reached out to all of us and mustered up.
Let me hang on. It's a little bit slow. All right, there's one. $70,000 illegal immigrants. Wow, we got a lot of legal immigrants by the sounds of that.
I hate us. We really, really do. And I don't know what Anthony Albanese is thinking except politics. He wants to bring people in to vote for him, but he doesn't care that our sons and daughters and grandchildren can't afford to buy a house, let alone.
So this is
Jesse Stewart. He's
This is
the MCO
Paula.
about.
Weren't too happy with him earlier in the month, but he's here for the right reasons today, and he's an Aussie patriot, the Honourable John Ruddick, MLC,
we did
representing
listen
the
to,
Libertarian Party.
Sorry, we did listen to John Ruddick before. I'm going to move on.
Lying about it, but
and we're going to move on to the next speaker. Here we go.
Today, we march.
Sorry, I'm going to hit the name.
All right, have we got Stephen McInerney here? He's our next speaker. Here he is. He's an academic writer who lives and works in Sydney. From 2017 to 2021, he was an academic director and deputy CEO of the Ramsay Centre for Western Civilization. Give it up for Stephen McInerney.
For those out there that want a little bit of an education on how propaganda works, is when you have to argue with somebody and you disagree with somebody and you need to mention their name and call them out, you actually promote that person to so many people that sit around the dinner table and talk about these issues. They don't care about political correctness around the dinner table or down at the pub. So if you have to call somebody out and go, oh, this person's a racist or a Nazi, you have to name them. And so therefore, if you have a large platform, you are promoting them. So the best way to dominate the conversation is to manufacture a parody of your enemy that is in fact working with you, and then call out that enemy and have an argument with that fake enemy, promote that enemy, and next thing you know, your enemy and you are actually the same person working together and promoting each other, while real voices like mine get drowned out because everyone thinks it's an argument between the Jews and the Nazis, who are actually the same people. And then the Christian Zionists come in. Next thing you know, you've just got Christian Zionists, you've got Nazis, and you've got Jews, and they're all arguing amongst each other, but they're all paid off by the same people. You see what I mean? They're not going to mention Dave. They're not going to go, oh, fuck Dave, because what will happen is their audience that is against them and trusts me, they're going to come to me. They're not going to want to promote me. So they manufacture an enemy, if you know what I'm trying to say. So that's how social media really works. And most people don't get it.
Today, we march for Australia and for Australians. Today, we march for our people who have a shared ancestry, a shared heritage, a shared culture, and a shared destiny on this continent. A continent that our ancestors claimed, settled, civilized, federated, built a nation upon, and shed their blood in defense of for us. Our forefathers at Federation were crystal clear about why they were federating this nation and for whom they were federating it. It was for those of us who are here today and those we represent, Anglo-European Australians. They were clear that it was their will and ardent desire that this nation would always remain ours. And they established immigration policies to that end. They federated this country with the express purpose of protecting it, of protecting us from the very fate that now threatens to overwhelm it and to overwhelm us and our way of life. Mass immigration of non-Europeans at an unprecedented scale, at an unprecedented rate. Our wartime Prime Ministers, Billy Hughes and John Curtin, were clear what our soldiers were fighting for in the world wars. Our men were not fighting for some abstract set of values. They were not fighting for some chimera called multicultural Australia, or what Tony Burke self-servingly calls modern Australia. No, they were fighting for a people bound together by the crimson thread of blood. A distinct people, a unique people, an irreplaceable people. Derived from the British Isles and Europe and forged on this continent through ethnogenesis into a new ethnic group, Australians. For English, Scotch and Irish bread, we're all Australians now, Banjo Patterson wrote. They were fighting in defence of our people's claim to this continent and the nation our people built here. Today, we stand in the tradition of all our Prime Ministers from Barton to Menzies, and we carry on the legacy of the great leaders of this state, Henry Parkes and Jack Lang, who were equally clear that New South Wales was not for sale to the highest bidder, but was set aside for sons and daughters of Britannia, the nation forming people of this land and other Europeans who assimilated into our number. Today we march for Australia, for our way of life, and our claim on this continent. We do so with no ill will towards citizens of this nation who don't share our ancestry. But with a clear understanding that we are not going majority status, and that the nation the whole world seems to want to join will not remain the great nation it is, if in fact we allow the whole world to join it. That would doom our people to minority status, which if we do nothing at the current rate and scale and composition of immigration will occur within the lifetime of most of us here today. Many of us here have friends, neighbours, colleagues or families whose ancestry is not Anglo-Celtic or European, or is only partially so. We have given them a fair go, extended the hand of friendship to them, and had the hand of friendship extended in return. And to the extent that these, our friends, colleagues and neighbours, respect and support our claim on this nation as the people whose ancestors built it, and our determination to continue to set the direction of our nation and to remain not only a majority, but to swell again to supermajority status, then I wish them well. But everyone must understand, and our politicians in particular must understand, that our ability to live harmoniously with small numbers of people who don't share our ancestry and culture does not mean we will ever accept the unacceptable and radical transformation of our suburbs and cities, our towns and our regions, let alone the nation itself, into something other than places that we recognise as ours, stamped by our character, populated by our people. We will no longer allow politicians to pursue reckless levels of immigration that make us strangers in our own country. Today, Today, we draw upon the gifts our ancestors from the British Isles bequeathed us. The conquering strength of the English, the keenness of mind and brilliance of the Scots, the mirth and rebelliousness of the Irish, and the poetic spirit and passion of the Welsh. And we draw on our larger European identity. The whole history of the West, from Greco-Roman antiquity to the pagan Germanic tribes converted by the blood of Jesus Christ, and the Angles, the Saxons and the Celts. We carry that legacy forward here today. We are the Australians. The test of democracy, G.K. Chesterton said, is not whether the people vote, but whether the people rule. From this day forward, the will of the Australian people, which is opposed to mass immigration, must rule. Thank you.
All right, guys, we are going to hear from another speaker in a bit.
Oh fuck! Here we go. She's watching. So this is Paula, but she's watching this fucker. This fucker has a. He's part of Turning Point Australia. This is part of the PSYOP, guys. I can't see any connection between Turning Point Australia and Turning Point USA. But I will tell you, Turning Point USA, which has the exact same logo as this fucker's, Turning Point USA is run by Charlie Kirk. They make like $100 million a year. They get their cash from Zionists. The Jews basically own Turning Point USA. And what Charlie Kirk has done is lied all of these years, pretending that he's there to defend white Americans and Christian values. And it turns out that Charlie Kirk was always a Christian Zionist, and Charlie Kirk was always working for the Jews. Always. Now we got fuckers like this who look super duper ethnic, you know, and are bringing out their own channels under the guise of Turning Point Australia. Now, obviously, there's no link. The logo looks similar, but I think I can assume that they're connected. And so I wouldn't trust anything this fucker says. Look up. See, that's the thing. He's got a professional setup. He's got a nice suit. He's all dressed. Where's this money coming from for this setup? A real Aussie battler has a dodgy setup like mine because it's self-funded. Look at all the massive super chats. You guys are all just as broke as everybody else, every other real Australian. There's not millions of dollars coming through my super chats, are there? But I bet when these guys kick off, the super chats are kicking off and they're getting so much money. I do this for nothing because I'm a real Australian. These other fuckers don't. The Charlie Kirks, they're multi-millionaires. And so this is Turning Point Australia. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I believe you. But anyway, this is Paula's live stream.
But I've got the actual live stream from Brisbane as well, which we have a whole bunch of be the
Yeah.
start of the rally
So
in
she's
Adelaide.
watching his live stream.
To build a shared future far from the
Is that Sydney? It looks like Sydney. It looks like near Central Station to me. I'm not sure.
conflicts of the old world.
What did he say?
They do not take action for the people, no matter how unpopular it may be.
No matter how unpopular it might be,
Now, as Dabu said,
we got to
migrants like
understand.
himself did not come here to demand. They did not come here to take or replace. They came here to belong. To build a shared future far from the conflicts of the old world. These years, however, what do we see? We see flags of every other nation raised proudly except our own. And when we do, met with insult and scorn, and didn't the media machine activate against this rally? Telling us not to attend because we might be called names. It is so childish. It is like high school. So, it is nothing but intimidation because that is their final weapon against the average men and women of this country. What they fear most is when everyday Australians like you and me stand up. We are the silent majority, and unfortunately, we are once again the forgotten women and men of this land.
Okay, let
Now,
me
we know
address
our government
this
has failed
comment
us.
here. Banjeet. G'day. Banjeet. I bought lots of hang on, where is it? I bought hang on, I need to increase the size of this. There we go. I bought lots of land here in Australia, so I'm a real Australian and I own land, do you? Like, are you trying to piss me off? So you're a foreigner coming to Australia and you own land and you've taken that land from an Australian that's born here. Are you're trying to trigger a revolution? Like, you're actually trying to piss me off? Fuck me. I'm bringing my whole family to come stay, you dirty Aussie. There you go. So these people, they immigrate to Australia and they fucking hate us. You see? And they hate us and they want to kill us. They want to steal our land. And they're bringing their whole families over here. And the only reason, see, that's the thing. If I go to any other country in Asia, there's almost no countries in Asia that I can own property. I can put it in my name and then I can own it forever and the government's going to protect my right, my claim to that land. This guy is, he clearly hates white people and he's here for the money. This is, so when I say things that people think are outrageous, like extreme violence, hanging politicians, proper revolution is all on the table. And if we have a lot of, if a white Australian like goes out there and commits the most heinous of crimes, I need to defend that white Australian because he's all I've got left. If I'm starving in the street, is Banjeet here going to help me? Is Banjeet going to want to pay taxes to for my pension when I get older? No. Banjeet's just here so that he can get a pension. He can bring his grandma in and she can get all the health care and all of the welfare and everything and feed off my forefathers. But when I get older and I'm going to lose all of my political power and he's going to be down at the Parliament House protesting. He's going to bring his whole family. They're heavily motivated to steal and take whatever they can. So, like, tracking down Banjeet here for what he just said and taking everything from him through violence, I think is totally justified at this point. And we're running out of time. Just so you guys know, we're running out of time to take back what is ours because we're going to be genocided by Banjeet here. Because he just made it very clear. He hates us. He wants to take everything from us. He wants to kill us. And his attitude is absolutely disgusting. The thing is, a lot of Indian men are actually pretty cool. They're actually pretty nice. But like when they speak like this, it's like, fuck, this is bad. You know, this is really bad. They have a bad attitude. They're bad people, some of these people. Benjeet, if you want to come on this live stream and explain to me why you hate white people, that would be
Given the gates without
to hear.
thought or care, where normal Australians are struggling to make ends meet. 125.
Oh, and on a side note, I was thinking of going to India to try it out. I was thinking about it because you can get a long-term visa. But obviously, I'm not going to be treated equally in India either. But Indians can come to Australia and get treated equally, if not get more rights. And they come here, they're highly political. They're motivated to take. And it really is just a numbers thing. If you get outnumbered, you just lose everything. And it's not about working hard. It's not about being intelligent. It's about race. Because if you have a minority of highly motivated people that want to become political and they spend all their time trying to take what is yours within your country, you will lose. And this is why white men need to stand together now before it's too late. It is legit. We're hitting the point where if every white man becomes highly motivated right now, we still might lose. That's the situation we're in. We're in a situation where we could be genocided.
1,000 Australians sleep homeless now. Housing is unaffordable. Young families are shut out. Hospitals and schools are overwhelmed. GDP growth is praised, but yet on a per capita basis, we have been in recession for many months. Our living standards are falling faster than any other Western country in the world.
Facts.
So
Apart from Canada.
Every individual competes for
and England.
Housing, food, leisure, and security. This is basic economics, supply and demand. As a result, Brisbane is now ranked the 10th most congested city in the world. 4 of our capital cities are in the top 10 of most expensive property prices. Australians cannot afford a roof over their head. And when there are no homes, there are no families. And when there are no families, there are no children to inherit this country. Our population is already in decline. Infrastructure crumbles, and in my hometown, Proserpine, the fanciest, most well-maintained building is the government council chambers. It's so sad. It's shame because it is so sad to look around at everything else decaying and being forgotten, neglected. Compassion is absolute.
Well, part of the issue here is we had the boomers and the Gen Xers really need to take a lot of responsibility for this, because as a white Australian man, with some parents that have some property, that property and that wealth needs to be handed down fast, and needs to be handed down to the next generation of white men fast, so they can have kids. And so that, because I understand how the world is working exponentially more than my parents do. My parents don't know shit about the world. You know, they know nothing about the world at all. My dad every night has a couple of shots of whiskey and watches Sky News every night. The guy's like been psyoped his entire fucking life. He doesn't even know how to turn a fucking modem on. Okay? He's literally brain dead, and he's holding all of this wealth. Because of that, white men aren't able to innovate and have children and be positive looking forward. So what we're doing is we're being crushed not only by immigration, but the boomers and the Gen Xers, what they're doing is they would rather pay an immigrant money to come and clean the place and to help her out around the place than actually get on with their children. That's a big issue, is that the Gen Zs, the Gen Xs or whatever, and the boomers, they're so argumentative. They hate their own children and they don't want to get on with their own children. They much prefer to pay cheap labor immigrants to do work, because they come in, they do it, they shut the fuck up, they do their job or whatever, and they go, instead of relying on their family, their children. Because the Gen Zs and the Gen Xs and the boomers, they're so hard to get on with, and they are a major part in this. They don't want to apologize to their children for being assholes and help them out. And what we're doing is we're waiting for the whole collapse to happen, immigration to flood the place, and the boomers and the Gen Xers to die. And then white men will have no choice but to realize that race is the only thing left, and we're going to have to fight for our lives. That's unfortunately how it is.
Exploitation is rampant, and ordinary Australians bear the burden while the political elite grow wealthier. What we are witnessing is the refeudalization of our society. Children are born in debt before they're even born, and mass immigration, the very same policy tearing about Britain, Europe, and America, is coming here. It is their final tool to mask a growing system of debt and burdening government. Now, to think they even want to tax your spare bedroom. Can you imagine how the government must be salivating at the thought of all these new bureaucratic commissars marching into your homes? What notion of property rights will be left if we allow this to happen? Now, the issue of population growth is of most crucial, because our voting here is done on population. The last bastion of common sense, the North Queensland, we have lost representation. We have lost a voice down south. The migrants flock to the city, and the voting base of the political establishment is strengthened. The reality is that mass migration is purely a political tool, and it's cruel. It is cruel to the immigrants who came here for the right reasons, and cruel to the Australians who are struggling to make ends meet. So as Dusty said, we must continue to stand now and do so, because once ancient and proud nations are now weakened, divided, and collapsing. And that is our trajectory. As Britain and France now talk about IMF bailouts, they are bankrupt. They are failing. So listen, do not turn your frustration to the migrants. Many of us, we know, are migrants. The fault lies entirely with the...
Do not turn your frustration to the migrants? What? Isn't that the whole point of it?
Government policy, government messaging, government priorities, and a government who wants us silent.
For the last decade in Sydney CBD, the majority of these apartment blocks, you'd have a 2-bedroom apartment, and there'll be double bunk beds in each 2 bedrooms. You get 8 different people in one 2-bedroom apartment in Sydney CBD, and they're paying rent to some landlord that is also an immigrant, and they're just creating this slave labor camps within Australia. And that just produces a lot of cheap labor for a lot of these big businesses in Sydney, cheap, low-skilled labor, that makes Sydney rich. But you got a lot of slaves. But now we've got to the point where the locals are becoming slaves, and now it's time to rise up and end it all. And the consequence of that is that we're going to have to do a lot more things for ourselves. And the boomers and the Gen Xers don't want to do anything for themselves. They want to pay someone to clean their house and mow their lawns. You know, they're lazy. They're not like their parents were.
Our government's only duty is to Australia first. There is no freedom in it, and this is an uncomfortable truth for some. There is no freedom in a fragmented, multicultural society. History has taught us. Yugoslavia is the most modern example. There is only strength to resist tyranny, both domestic and foreign, with a united people, sharing common beliefs and common culture. Only tyranny will hold together such a
Look, there's a lot of guys out there that are going to make good arguments like this, but people like myself, all of these arguments that he's going to make, they're all short-term fixes, and eventually all of it will end in what I'm talking about. which is white men need to stand together. Just take a snippet of this and expose me later on for being wrong if you want. Everything is going to lead to white men needing to fight and defend themselves politically and physically against immigrants in this country. You can play these little games all you want, but I will be 100% proven right in the end. It will all end in white men needing to stand together. I will be proven right. This will happen. There's no way this will not happen. Government overreach will always end in the races sticking together. It's not that I want that to be the case. I've been on this channel for an entire decade, and I've said a lot of things like how we need to work with immigrants and how, blah, blah, blah. I've come to the conclusion recently, because I've traveled a lot lately as well. Every country in Asia, these people are disgusting racists. And they're the disgusting racists that we're letting into Australia. If we don't play the game by the rules that are, we'll lose. If we handicap ourselves, we will lose. We will lose everything, not just our wealth, our political power, but we'll also lose our lives. These people in Asia are disgusting, despicable human beings. They're racist pieces of shit. They hate each other. The Cambodians hate the Thais hate the Cambodians. They look the same, dude. They fucking look the same. The Chinese and the South Koreans, they hate each other. The Japanese and the Koreans, they hate each other. The North Koreans and the South Koreans hate each other. And we're letting all of these pieces of shit into Australia. They hate people that look like them. What do you think they think about us? What I am telling you is the future. We can either wait until it's too late and there's little bands of terrorist organizations of white men running around trying to fight back, and we can try to get some sort of a life out of that later on, or we can start now. I don't think we're going to start now, but eventually, I promise you, I will be proven right. Everything will end in white men needing to stand together regardless. And the fact that we got Russia and Ukraine fighting each other, white men taking on white men, that's other racists attacking each other. We need to stop that. They need to be standing together.
Multicultural society, and we see that with the hate speech crimes. We see that with the digital media bans. This is all to control the political discourse. So I say this, and I know we all feel this too. We will not stand by and let Australia suffer the same fate as Europe and Britain. We call for a government that truly puts Australians first. We call for policies that protect our land.
So here's a boomer, Rick. Rick, do you want to come on for a chat? I think this might be beneficial for everybody. Don't cry in the, do a typical fucking boomer cry session in the chat. Well, I guess you don't want my help. We need your help. Where's your super chat, you tight ass fucking boomer? Where's the super chat? Where's your live stream? Have you organized any protests? I've been on here for a decade, you piece of shit. I was working 7 days a week, studying at nighttime. I was starting work at 6 a.m. in the morning, finishing my construction job after having a hip replacement at 2 in the afternoon, and then going to a restaurant and finishing at 10 p.m. and then waking up at 5 a.m. the next morning. I did that for fucking ages until I needed another hip replacement. I fucking worked my ass off. While you boomers just bought some fucking property, sat around like the lazy fucks you are, and now you're going to cry in the comments as if you're a fucking victim? Come on and tell us why. Why are you crying in the fucking comments? This is the problem with you. You can't get on with anybody. Boomers don't get on with anybody. You can't play with even your kids. You're supposed to be part of you're part of the problem, really. You are part of the problem. We need your help. We're crying out, we're complaining about you, and then you're like gaslighting us like a feminist bitch. Because that's what you are. You're crying in the comments like a feminist bitch. For fuck's sake. Oh, that's a gaslighting fucking comment, Rick. It's gaslighting. We need your help. We're crying out for your help. We need your political power. Yet during COVID, you lock us down. During COVID, you're worried about a flu and you don't care about my business. You don't care about my livelihood. You don't care about me having a roof over my head. You get political because you're too stupid watching the footy and drunk every day. And you're too fucking busy voting for Liberal or the Labour Party every single session and not realizing that both parties are exactly the same, flooding us with fucking immigrants. Rick, wake the fuck up, you dumb cunt. Fuck. We just get sick of it. Sorry for getting angry, but we just get sick of your bullshit after a while. We're the ones out here trying to get a job, trying to keep a roof over our head, and you're gaslighting us over this? Fuck. So, you criticize the boomers? You deserve criticizing. Fucking lazy cunts that just sat around owning property like rent-seeking parasites for the last 30, 40 years, allowing the Zionists to rule the fucking government and send all of our money to kill Muslims over there while this country's crumbling around us. Fuck. You played your part. Even though you did nothing, you did nothing. That's making a choice. Doing nothing is a choice. I've been here for a decade complaining about all of these issues, immigration, China, the lockdowns, you name it. I've been investigated. I've been harassed. How many fucking super chats are coming through here? Rick? How many fucking super chats? The fact that I got money to go, it's because I fucking worked my ass off and I earned fucking what I got, even under all of the oppression that's going on. You know, everybody hates white men these days, Rick. You know that, Rick? Are you aware that everybody fucking hates me and I still succeeded? I had multiple hip replacements. My mum was a single mother. I came from the ghetto and I still succeeded. Fuck, man. I'm like fucking superhero, fucking Superman compared to most of you fucking whinging boomer cunts, lazy fuckers.
For our children and grandchildren, without race-based priorities, as we decided during the referendum. And above all, we call for an immigration policy that strengthens the nation and preserves the Australian culture we cherish. Because to love one's nation is to care for its people, to protect its future and preserve the Australia we have inherited.
Oh,
so
shit.
Before I finish,
hang on.
Always remember.
Oh my
that our
God. Hang
fathers
on.
fought in the trenches and died.
Oh my God. Where's your comment? That's the first. The Gorilla King. No comment. Oh my God. Thank you very much, the Gorilla King. Let's have a moment of silence. Oh my God. That's probably the biggest. That's probably the biggest super chat I've had in a decade. In a decade. I've been running this thing at a loss for a decade. Oh my God, the Gorilla King. Leave a comment or something. The floor is yours. The Gorilla King. Man.
Democratic system. So that we may live in peace, so that we may fight in the streets and at the ballot box, which is our duty. It is our job to continue to stand here, to take back the councils, take back the state government, and take back the federal government, which has long stopped listening. From here, we must all become politically active. So together, raise your flags throughout the state and let us restore traditional Australia.
There you go, guys.
No one's ripping the mic out of his hand. No. He's a big boy.
She's watching the Turning Point stream by the looks of things.
Yeah, you had the guys, the agitators like we had in every state trying to take some attention, but when they spoke, we ignored. And so did the crowd. The crowd got the idea very quickly.
Yeah,
I was very comfortable.
That's good, mate. No, look, kudos to you, kudos to the team. Shallow Cal and Dusty Bogan, and the other organisers for for doing a great job. Sorry, I don't know all the names.
No, that's all right. Two of them are anonymous anyway, but look, I know them personally myself. I've had food with them. They're great guys. They just love their country. They really do.
Good.
And that's what everybody there was about.
Yeah.
And we said multiple times, doesn't matter where you come from, it's where we're going from here together.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just think it went down so well today, at least for Queensland, and I'll be catching up tonight and tomorrow on what happened in the other states.
Right. Awesome. Well, look, if you need to, this stream did cover everything pretty much. We are playing all the speeches, and I think one of the themes you're going to notice is that there were similar shouting downs of speeches if they didn't go far enough, and I think that you guys handled it very well. You were well organised, and mate, your competency shined through the organising of Queensland. So I really want to thank you for doing that and for articulating pretty much what all those Australians that gathered there today, wanted to say.
Thanks, Joel. No, thanks for showing everyone the speech. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Oh, mate, they're going wild, mate. They're calling you Viking Lockie.
Great.
Good on you, mate.
All right. Well, yeah. Cheers. Hey, enjoy.
Yeah. Well, this Turning Point guy, he Joel Jamal or something like that. I think he said that he's promoting a better organized one in September or something. The thing here is decentralized white men sticking together is the best way to do things, because they can't target us so easily, and they want to target us. They want to take us out. They seriously want to take us out. If they could just arrest every white man that spoke out and just keep flooding us with people. They also send Africans in, and they'll pay off Africans to bash up white men in the country. That's another that's another weapon that they're importing, is black men to attack white men. They also know that black men love to have sex with white girls and leave single mothers everywhere. And that weakens what is left of the resistance. And that's what they did in Britain. All the black men were running around banging all the white women. And if you said anything racist against a black man, you get arrested. And then they totally decimate the local society. And in Britain, that's what they did. They did it through demographics. And Britain's at destruction levels. What we're seeing here with the media is there's only a few people that are really getting all of the clicks. There's only a few of these Zionist-backed people who are getting all of the clicks and covering these protests in a professional manner. Like, I'm not saying this Joe Jamal guy's a Zionist. I just think he is. I'm not saying he is. I think Turning Point Australia sounds a little bit too close to Turning Point USA, run by Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk is 100% a Zionist, a Christian, Judeo-Christian dude who pretends to be supporting the white men just so that he can get their votes and put their Zionist puppet in charge. And that's what's happening in Australia.
Keep the show going, and I'll catch up on it probably tomorrow, Joel.
God bless you, mate. You take it easy. Get some rest.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lachlan. Thanks for your time.
St. George's Terrace to the park. How great is that?
Perth.
The only bad part about that is they're not going to be able to get in here to listen.
It's a bit quiet, isn't it?
That's his credit out on that.
It's a bit quiet.
What a disgrace.
There's a guy, Daniel, here. Daniel Clancy. I might go and check out his stream.
Go. Where's the stage? Maybe we'll go Brisbane or WA.
That brought the tyranny of COVID into our shores.
And let's hear who brought the tyranny?
The root cause of our dysfunction, and the root cause that is causing tyranny through malignant government. It's the political appointment of the Governor General.
We've already heard this part. Let's hear the next speaker.
That is 6 times the population of the Northern Territory. And in the last 12 months, we've brought in one whole Canberra.
Look, being over here in Asia, it's good to see some white faces. For a while, I'm surrounded by these fucking Asians that like, oh dude, these Asians over here, don't get me wrong, they're fucking racist.
This is not a plan for success for this country. This is a plan for failure. It is managed decline. Nothing makes me prouder than looking around and seeing some of you here that are obviously from different countries flying our flag. Thank you so much for coming, supporting the patriotic cause of this nation. This is a patriotic cause, and you are part of history. This is going to be the first of many marches. If you remember back to Canberra, that large march was one march of 3, and everyone got bigger and bigger and bigger until they let us out of our houses. We were locked down. That is the power of these governments. We have had this problem inflicted on us by politicians, and it needs to be solved by politicians. We cannot.
So Jamie, I put you in a timeout. You're clearly a Zionist jumping in there talking about how the Jews rule Australia, or you're a troll trying to trigger something, I don't know. But, you know, putting all of this, oh, Israel first bullshit in the comments, you know, I'll let people know when I put them in a timeout. You're in a timeout. If you're just a troll, the timeout will end and you'll be able to chat again. But if you are a legitimate Zionist and you're just talking shit in the comments, you may get banned. But yeah, I'll tell you guys when I'm going to put someone in a timeout. I want everyone to be able to chat. But if you're going to just pump pro-Israel propaganda in the chat when we're in Australia, we're sick of that shit. We're sick of it. This is not Israel. This is Australia. This is not China. This is Australia. Hell, this is not even New Zealand. No offense to all the Kiwis out there. But it's Australia, okay?
We cannot deal with this. Look, mate, you can jump up on the open mic later on, all right? I'm up here. You can jump up later, all right? One nation has been fighting this fight for the last 30 years.
But don't get me wrong. I see a Kiwi abroad. It's basically like home. So don't get me wrong there. It's just pointing out a, you know, obvious point, you know. Kiwis are basically the same. Now, I'm going to have to wind that back because we need as many allies as we can. And these fucking Maoris, these Anzacs, we need them all on our team. We can't be dividing it up. I actually saw a live stream where there was this Aussie saying that Drew Pavlau can't be on our team because he's Greek or something. It's like, Drew looks far more white and he looks far more European because I'm pretty sure Greece is in Europe than any of the fuckers that are coming here. I'll trust Drew over an African any day. I'll trust Drew over like obviously like a Zionist Israeli or anybody else from like Asia that is here to take what is ours. So we need to be mindful of that as well. There are a lot of people out to get us, and we can't be just like the Nazis, closing ourselves off and dividing ourselves up. And that's what the political elite are trying to do. They're trying to carve us up into little groups. You see, we can't allow that to happen.
It's part of the foundation of our party. You need to join us. You need to, everybody here, if you showed up on polling booths on the days, you're going to help us get more people in power. And
yeah,
we can stop this. Right,
you've got my Telegram there. You can message me, or you've got the link if you want to come on for a chat. Sorry for calling you bad words, because I thought you were obviously, you know. It gets a bit heated here sometimes because of the situation we're in, of course, you know.
Good job.
Now, I think Australians need
you,
to
Stuart. That
really
was good.
just. The Australians need to get fired up and start
Next
really
one
doing.
up, and last designated speaker we have is former
Is this the
mayor and
organizer?
councillor for.
Is this the organizer? This is classic Australian. He just grabbed a stick. Just look at that.
Cumberland libertarian Steve Christou. Give him a round of applause, everyone.
Thank you. Hello, Sydney, and hello, Aussie Patriots. Glad to see you all out here sending a clear message to the federal government and Anthony Albanese and his weak government and Minister Tony Burke that Australians are no longer going to take their crap.
We're going to be careful with this because he's saying Albanese. He's targeting a political party. You know, if someone gets up and they say it's the Liberal Party or it's the Labor Party or it's the Greens, we can't allow that to confuse us. It's all of these people that want to flood us with immigrants. Both sides of politics. Even Pauline Hanson hasn't done jack shit. She's bought and paid by the Zionists as we speak. She's working with them as we speak. She's on Sky News every other day. So when they say Albo, we must be very specific and say it's the Australian government, whoever that is. Not go, oh, well, next time we're going to vote in the Liberals and it's going to be okay, when the Liberals are propped up by Harry Triggerboff, who's the richest property developer in Australia, worth $30 billion, and he's a Jewish Israeli guy that doesn't give a shit about this country. And his father was kicked out of China, so he came here to start his corrupt business dealings. We need to be very careful picking a political side, because that's what Charlie Kirk in Turning Point USA does all the time. Vote Republicans. Republicans get in, and then all this money goes to Israel.
For far too long, we have all been treated like second-class citizens in our own country. For far too long, they've allowed division and hate and the burning of our flag and our values on our streets. And now tens of thousands of people have showed up to say no more.
Oh, yeah, Paladin. Yeah, I see your comment there, Paladin. So you went to the march. This was in Sydney, right? And you said there was a few Asians, but there was no Indians. Yeah. You know, Indian guys are actually pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're heavily political, but Indian women are extreme racist. Like, if you're talking Nazi type level, Indian women by default are some of the worst scumbags to let into your country. You can never trust an Indian woman. I've never met an Indian woman that I could trust. They're extremely racist. You cannot trust these women at all. At all. So I just want to point that out. And Paladin, yeah, I can see your comment.
Oh! Just like everybody here, I'm disgusted at what our government is doing to this country. Our great country is being flushed down the toilet by nothing more than these traitors, because that's what they are. Traitors, pandering to a minority of people that like to come here and collect our generous welfare system, use our public hospitals, claim our Medicare cards, a great education system. All that is good for these people, but apparently our flag and our values are not. And the government panders to them. They allow them to dictate to us that they're offended when we have Christmas and our shopping centres can't play the carols. That's right.
Facts. So I genuinely think that this guy was just saying Albo because he's the leader, not because he's trying to promote the Liberal Party. And that's kind of the trick that the average Aussie gets tricked into believing, you know. The Gorilla King, if you leave some comments, let me know if you got something to say. I'm going to go through and put these other comments up as well. Whoops.
They allow them to say that they're offended when we have Easter and the signs of Jesus Christ and the cross and banners in our streets. Well, thank you, Anthony Albanese and your federal government for waking up everybody here, because we're all saying no more. No more, 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 no more. That's the sentiment exactly. But look, on a serious note, it's great to see everybody show up, and we need to keep showing up at these protests and not let it be a once-off. So we show Australia that we are serious, because they like to turn the rhetoric and call us all a bunch of racist Nazis, and we are not. We are just right. We are right.
See, he saw it. He can see it. It's so obvious, the psyop. The government is in a lot of trouble here because these psyops are. We're able to see it. We're far more educated, especially since 9/11, the Twin Towers. Next thing you know, there's mass weapons of mass destruction. We see all the psyops now, and that's why they have to become more forceful with us, because we see all of their lies. Even this guy, he said, we're not Nazis, because he can see that the Nazi thing's a psyop. It's a weapon to label us all as Nazis and divide us.
Because we love Australia, and we won't have our country dictated to and our country flushed down the toilet by these people. Okay? At the end of the day, I can see many ethnics in the background. And if you love Australia, this is your country. But I'll tell you this.
Oh, you hear the booing. It's a little bit... The thing is, this is one thing I've always seen since China became wealthy. Why are all of the Europeans fighting amongst themselves? And we look in the comments, we got Milan here. He's probably from Yugoslavia, the old Yugoslavia. They're on our team. The Croatians are on our team. The Serbians are on our team, even though they have a beef with each other. All of all those other little countries around that area. they're all on our team. This guy looks like us. This guy's on our team because the blacks, the Asians would happily take his job, slaughter him, take all of his political power. If we don't stand together, we lose everything. The Yugoslavs are on our team. You see? And when he said, "Oh, look, all of the Europeans and stuff," and it's the issue here is that's one of the problems here. That's one of the problems here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, supporting your country, supporting your flag. You're true patriots, and I've never seen such a showing of the Aussie flag. War done, Sydney, war done, Australia. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Thank you, Sydney.
All right, thank you, Steve. Christo. Nice one. All right, we're going to open it up for an open mic. Probably, I think, 5 speakers tops, and just try to keep it short and sweet, just so it doesn't drag on for too long. Thanks, guys. All right, so if you just want to come around, just come up.
Would you look at that? Would you look at that? So you know what's funny about this open mic thing in every city? The ones that had open mic, they're like, "Oh, it's open mic, just let the people talk." They've all got that little patch on them. And he's got a speech written out. Oh, he had no idea there was going to be an opportunity to have an open mic. He had no idea. He's got it written out there, ready to go. This people in the freedom movement, people on the right, they're not that stupid. They're not that stupid. A lot of them left when they saw this stuff.
See this?
And this is just like
we're literally surrounded by them. You see? In the comments, everywhere. It's because they're more active. Australians aren't that active. So is this person's like go Israel and Australian people for life. We're surrounded by enemies. So yeah, we got another fool putting poo emojis in the comments. You get banned soon.
they can see that you're saying to them,
Put you in a
"You're too stupid
timeout
to
for
work
putting poo everywhere.
You didn't have the guts to put your name on the flyer, your face on the flyer, so you had to do this open mic crap. People see through this crap. They see through it. They see what you've done in Adelaide. They see what you did in Melbourne. And you know, we're a man of the people. Let's hear what he has to say. I'm not...
Yeah, this guy's not a man of the people.
For coming here today. It's important that we show this government that we are fed up. The average Australian is absolutely fed up with the state of this nation. Our nation is now unrecognizable. 1,500 immigrants per day. That's how many are coming in. Indians, Africans, Chinese, all here to exploit our lands.
Send them back! 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 Send them back!
I was going to get to that. We have a plan. We see the effects every day when you travel around Sydney. We see the rising crime. We see that our people can't even afford housing in the lands that their forefathers built for them. This land was built by white Australians. Our ancestors built this nation for us, for their kin, for their offspring. Assimilation was a lie. We were sold it and it never worked.
Facts. So what's the question, Chip? What are you talking about?
These ethnics have formed enclaves and now we can't even go there in our own lands. We know that the government is
As
the
if like I
problem.
see everything.
They have betrayed you.
I'm not looking at the chat. I just come in every now and then and look and see if there's any comments or anything. But don't go chucking a tantrum in the chat because I didn't see it. It's like
for the interests of our children.
this guy's spitting facts.
System is rotten and broken. We have to learn from the mismanagement of the freedom movement and we need to organize. You don't have to join our organization, but we must come back more organized, more disciplined. We have the solutions. We want to send them back. No debate, no discussion. We want to send them back to their lands.
Wow. Wow. Well said. Wow. Wow. When you see a guy like this talking like that, you know things are changing. You know that we're going to eventually take over the whole country and take it back. This guy seems a little bit professional to me. Maybe 10 years ago, he would never say something like this. You know that we're flipping all white men in the country.
And most importantly, our organization has the strength to do this. We must organize to save Australia. Thank you for coming. Blood and honor.
No, I haven't seen the painting under the. No, I haven't seen it.
All right, here we go. Another open mic.
I haven't
Hello,
seen
Patriots.
I can Google it
Can I
later
just
on.
say, Joel Davis, you look great. You're looking very nice. Very suave. I like the outfit. I think I have the exact one.
That's not Joel Davis. Oh, you see what he's doing? Oh, he's exposing himself as a psyop working for Israel. Why would he say that that's Joel Davis? That was not Joel Davis. That was not Joe.
But let's see what you got to say anyway.
Oh, actually, oh, hang on. Sorry. No, he was saying this is Joel Davis. Okay. So this is Joel Davis. Okay. So the guy speaking is Joel Jamal or whatever his name is. He has Turning Point Australia, which I think is working for the Jews. I also think, okay, let me explain before this guy talks. I reached out to him because I wanted to figure out what was going on with this whole Nazi shit. And what happened was he actually promoted to me. He's like, look, all of our members are buying XRP, which is a crypto. The crypto, which the founders and the people who run XRP are all Jewish. He's promoting a crypto run by the Jews to all of his Nazi members. So they're funding it through Jewish means. That was a big red flag in and of itself. The PSYOP thing is probably the biggest one. And the third biggest reason that I'm looking at this is he actually looks like Rabbi Shmuley. Have a close look at him. If he's not signaling that he's the Aussie Rabbi Shmuley, I don't know what is going on here. But anyway, let's hear what the self-appointed Nazi has to say. This will be interesting. Hail Hitler or some shit. Even though Australia fought the Nazis, the Anzacs fought the Nazis. It's like, to even think that you could be a Nazi in Australia knowing that the Anzacs and the Diggers, they fought the Nazis. Even Germans are anti-Nazi. It's the most, like, even in school, because of all of the psyops, we've been taught that this is the most hated ideology that you could have. Why would you do it unless you're a plant? Why would you do it unless you're a plant? You can be anti-immigration and anti-Jewish control without being a Nazi. You don't need to be a Nazi. You don't even have to be Hamas. And that's what they do. The Jews say that you're a terrorist working for Hamas. The Jews can also say that you're a Nazi. So you cannot question them, and you cannot question immigration. But anyway, let's get into this.
I see it. We came here for one simple reason: to send a message that we will not give up Australia without a fight. This country was built by our ancestors. It was bled for by our ancestors on the beaches of Gallipoli, in the bushes of Kokoda. They bled for a white Australia.
See, this is the problem. The Nazis come out and say exactly what we agree with, but they slander us by calling themselves Nazis. So it makes things really difficult for us.
And we will fight for a white Australia. The globalist elites and the traitor politicians who serve them, they want to steal this country from us. That's what mass immigration is about. It's about flooding our country with foreigners that'll be complicit in the theft of our national wealth and sovereignty. And we, together, we must resist. That's what this is.
There are patriots assembled in every city around this.
True. It's camo there. Yeah, true. 50% of Sydney was born overseas too, by the way. So if people don't think that we're being swamped, and there's so many different demographics that make it almost impossible to fight for your rights, that's a big part of it. It's a huge problem.
Country, this is just the beginning of a new wave of nationalism in Australia. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for bringing your Aussie flags. I all want to.
But I've been looking closely into what these Nazis are doing, and what they're also doing, which most of you guys probably aren't aware of, is they're actively insulting everybody else too. So there's some massive influences in the United States that are about protecting the rights of white men. And what this guy's doing is he's insulting all of them. There was a Spanish guy who was going viral recently. He actually interviewed some white Australian women about immigration, and he exposed them for being total fools, thinking that it's okay. While Spain's being flooded with immigrants, Europe's being flooded with immigrants, and they had a bit of a beef. The leader of the Nazis here had a beef with the Spanish guy, saying that he's not a real European because he's Spanish. It's like he's actively embedding himself in the center, and then then also attacking like Drew Pavlov because he's like Greek or whatever background. And he's actively dividing from within, arguing with everybody else. That is, if this Spanish guy, if he stood next to us, he's kind of looks the same in a way. He doesn't have British background like myself. I don't know what background this guy has. I suspect it's Israel. Let's just be honest. That's what I suspect. It might not be true, but I suspect he's Jewish. Like I honestly do. And so what he's doing is the Spanish guy basically kind of looks the same. He's got a lot of he's basically got a lot of British followers. Why wouldn't this guy want to coordinate with him? Why wouldn't he want to coordinate with the Greeks? Why would he have a problem with the Yugoslavians? Why wouldn't he have a problem with, I know Yugoslavia is not there anymore. It's just a way of simplifying things. Eastern Europeans and things like
Australia.
I want to take a moment to just say something. Everything he said there was basically fine. Where we disagree is that, see, what they want, what he didn't even say what they want. What they want is 100%, every single person is 100% white. Not even a distant cousin or whatever. Bob Catter, for example,
to come here and take our taxpayers' dollars. We can't afford them. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough houses. We don't have enough hospitals. We don't have enough of anything. these people. So let's put a halt to immigration for at least 5 years. Talk again soon, guys. This is an amazing event to be at today. Absolutely incredible.
Okay, I should be back now, right? I should be back now.
Absolutely incredible. I went to the march in Canberra. I've been to the march in Brisbane, and this is rock and rolling. Australia is changing. The world is changing.
Yeah, so Cato, firstly, purity spiral, that's basically it. Cutting out everybody will just isolate us. But Cato said that it's a bad take, and I think Cato was meaning that there's not accepting the Spanish and the Yugoslavians. I know it's not a thing anymore, but they're basically, just to simplify things, accepting the Greeks, accepting everybody from Europe that kind of looks like us as part of our team. Let me explain why I think that is important. Because if you calculate the entire population, and this is why we're getting divided and conquered within each individual country, because we just don't have the numbers. My father remarried an Indonesian because my father's a beta male. He's a beta male cuck piece of shit. He's a pussy. Spends all of his time coming home from work, doing a dodgy little simple 9 to 5, and needs a 6-pack so he can watch Sky News every night and get propagandized. And he married some fucking defective Indonesian piece of shit. And their son is defective. Got tattoos on his face. He's got fucking like covered in tattoos on his hands. He's been in and out of jail. He's got mental illness. He's on drugs. He's committing crimes everywhere. He's been on welfare like most of his entire life. And the issue, he even like gave some white Australian girl too much drugs. She had a drug overdose and died. Like, these people are fucking scum. But the whole diversity thing, that we don't have the numbers. He was talking about how he went to jail and white men get bashed in jails because they don't have the numbers. It's not just jail we don't have the numbers. It's in our own individual societies. And if we continue, what will happen is every single country in Europe and every single white country, which is clearly what has happened to Britain, what is happening in Ireland right now. You can have a look at it online. You know, Conor McGregor's getting angry about immigration. You can Scotland. You can work your way through every single European country. If they don't actually stand together and they keep fighting back each other, we're all going to be just flooded, and every single white country is going to be a minority within every single country. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. And so it's not just Britain that every single country, the white guys are, and Britain is for Britain. They don't have the same argument as Australians. As Australians, they can say, look, you guys took over from the Aboriginals, so we get to kill you next. They can't say that about Britain. They can't say that about Ireland either, but they're doing it. And that's the future. That's where it's going. And so every single country, the Germans are in, you saw the video that I made recently of what happened to Germany. Just too many immigrants, and the country, there's like no white Germans left. The country is not what it used to be. And so every single country is going to be individually fighting the immigration when instead we all in a way, we kind of need to, I don't know, we need to somehow figure out how to, we might have, I don't know, don't blame me for these thoughts, but that's the big picture, right? Every country, every Western country, including Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, they're all getting flooded with immigrants, and the white people who built those countries are becoming a minority. Okay. And so we don't have the numbers within each individual country. So if you get that step back and have a look at it from a big picture, we just don't have the numbers. It's impossible. You just can't invent white men overnight when we don't have the kids. So what's happening is, have a look at India, 1.4 billion, same as China, 1.4 billion people. The people who run each of our countries look at that and they think, okay, we can bring in basically cheap slave labor until they become political. But as soon as they become political, the boomers and the Gen Xers think that they will be dead anyway. So they don't care what happens after that. And the problem is they genuinely don't care what happens after that. So if you're under, say, 40 or 50, you don't have a good future because of this big macro population problem. And so when you think about it from white men point of view, I think a lot of people might argue that a lot of the white men should pick a country. Literally, like, let's just say Europe isn't that great of a country. Like Europe, the whole region, it isn't that great. And it's flooded with so many Africans, and Islam's basically taken over Western Europe. My argument would be, and I know this is controversial, just brainstorming. Don't blame me for brainstorming. Just let all of the white guys in only from Europe to Australia, because Australia is the best country left. It's the best one, and it's in the richest region of the world. And we kick out everybody else. We kick everybody else out. And we let, 100,000 millionaires, every Polish, Kato, now you're onto it. There you go. I've got a client I have two clients, and one of my best friends is in Poland right now. It's all white people. They're sending me videos. I just can't believe it. Just, if they want to immigrate, they should be top of the list. Okay? And then instead we reverse it. We just send everyone else that way, bring them in here. And more specifically, we're rich enough that we can just let, so I'm just brainstorming. I went a little bit too far, but you get what I'm trying to say. USA's in a lot of trouble. Gorilla King, you popped up. Tell us what you think. You've got the floor. Let's go back to the stream. I'm talking too much.
The politicians aren't changing, so we need to change them.
Amen.
It's time, Australia.
Amen.
All the minor
Absolutely.
parties have got to come together. They've got to work together. The people are ready. Are you ready? All the minor parties come together and work as one. Be united. Put your kids and your grandkids first. It's now time for change.
You built this, you own it, it's your legacy.
Awesome.
Do not give it away to banks. Do not give it away to fat flop politicians that want to steal everything from you. Do not give it to the bureaucracy without fighting for it. They want you to pay for a permit. Ask them why. Why am I paying for this? Ask them why.
There you go. You got it from the man. They're all here today. Proud Australians, young, old, from everywhere across this state, here to make a difference. And all we've got to do is back them. Back Australia. But we've got to get rid of the Prime Minister we got. He's bloody hopeless. It's time, people. Let's change.
Steve Dixon, welcome to the show. I've got you on loudspeaker. You've got about 250,000 people listening live. How did you do it in an underhand fashion?
What happened there? So that stream ended, did it? You Yeah, this stream, it's just...
To go and speak to them live. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, I'm going to keep it...
It's got a professional setup. That must take a lot of money. Takes a lot of money to have a professional setup. And it's very, very rarely you'd have a professional setup like this from a ground roots movement. You see? So what you know, people wonder how Israel takes over everything. It's like, well, you don't realize that all of the professional setups, they're all Israelis, basically. And that's how they get you. And so you got this lady here, Paula, on her stream just promoting them. So let's move over to not the Portland guy. This is Daniel Clancy. Let's check out this guy's let's check out Daniel Clancy's stream here, which is live. Live March for Australia. There we go. So this is Daniel Clancy. I tried to send him a DM. Discord. So while that is setting up, yeah, Concerned Aussie. Why don't see? This is how they get us, Concerned Aussie. This is how they get us. I see you commenting all the time, but why haven't you had me on your channel for a podcast or something? You know, this is what the Jews do. They all work together. They podcast with each other. They work together. They collab. They get themselves out there. You know, in fact, I've promoted you more than you've promoted me because of you commenting. And a lot of people, they'll just be like, oh, I'll just comment on this bigger channel and I'll get some clicks and I'll selfishly hoard those clicks. It's like, that's not what this is about. This is about working together to try and help Australia, you know, and this is why we need us all to be working together. We wouldn't have, in the United States, they got so many free podcasts, you know, even like, there's some big podcasts out there that aren't run by governments. There's Charlie Kirk, you know what I mean? There's Charlie Kirk and, you know, Turning Point USA that is funded by Israel, obviously. But there's a lot of ground roots ones. And Concerned Aussie, we should be working together. We should have some, you know, work together and have some sort of a, you know. So we need weapons like USA. I'll just address that really quickly. We need to have the domestic politics sorted out first. If we become independent and have nukes, if we become independent and have enough, you know, nuclear power, and we use all of our resources to basically give cheaper energy to the Australian people instead of exploiting us the way that they do already. We're like one of the richest resource countries on planet Earth, yet the electricity bill is ridiculous. Why is that? It's because the political system's run by these people. That's why we get exploited. The problem is what we need to, if we were to become independent, the United States would actually declare war on us. That's another issue that we need to be prepared for. All the more reason to try to take control of the political situation first, try to set this country up as independently as possible, and then try to maybe declare independence from the United States and try to avoid getting destroyed by them, because in return we can be of use to them in the South China Sea, etc., something like that. But don't get confused. The United States is it's a very big threat. As you guys know, I had a good talk to John Mearsheimer. None of the Zionists are going to talk to John Mearsheimer because he wrote the Israel Lobby. He started this, No one's going to talk to him. He's not going to get on mainstream media ever. That's why I've been promoting him for a decade now. I had a long conversation. He explained to me, he literally he explained to me, he said, look, like if you try to keep trading with China and become independent, the United States will declare war on Australia. I was like, hi, yeah, right. He's like, no, like, I'm dead serious. That's what he said. This is one of the best geopolitical analysts in the world. And so we need to be mindful of that. And this is why these protests need to be race-based. We need to focus on making sure that only a white Australian man's in charge of this country. And then we need to start changing the policies bit by bit to benefit us instead of the immigrants, and benefiting us instead of these big companies that send money to Israel or the United States. Anyway, I've had my little chat.
How many shoes? 200 fucking people here. I don't know. I've never had this many people that are live, to be honest.
It's in my Discord. I've got a link to join.
Okay, look at his name. Look at his name. What is this? Is that his website? mrcunt.info? This is how you know he's real. This is how you know that he's not part of like the Israeli network. You know that he's not like the Nazis is connected to them, because look at his name.
It might get a bit chaotic if I put out a link publicly to 200 people, but I've never done this StreamYard on my phone before.
So this is Sydney.
I'll do this little perimeter. I'll come out from the start
Look
here.
look how sparse it is. This looks like is this Central? That's an African. Is this Central
I'm gonna walk
Park,
up this way,
or is this the park across from Broadway? This looks like Central
Sorry for
Park,
the shitty
right next
camera
to
work.
Central Station, near World Square. This is where he's walking. Straight ahead is Central Station. That little building just next to him.
I wonder if I could do like a
Nobody
better
knows
camera
what that
angle than
building
this.
is.
Got all these
Yeah,
options,
okay.
back dual camera.
So straight ahead is town.
That might be better.
Central Station and the big clock. The big clock should be up here somewhere.
See, it doesn't really matter which way you go. It's all just, there's not really a center point for this thing. It's just people around in their little groups. I'm not sure if there's like going to be a speaker on the, like there's no stage or anything set up. So I guess there's a few more people coming in now. I just, I feel like this is pretty weak. Man, I hate to say that because, I want to be here in the spirit with it all, but this is weak. There were hundreds and thousands of people choking up our coat hanger the other week for fucking Palestine. And I know this is not about any other country today, it's about our country. But I kind of really feel like, is this in my head or what? I don't know. I'm talking to myself here amongst all these people. I hate talking into these glass bricks, but this is not good.
So this was earlier on in the day.
I was expecting I'll get there like 2 hours early. Maybe I'll get maybe a good view. No, man, I've walked through the guts of this thing like 100 times. There's no one here.
You can kind of see how we're a conquered people, can't
So,
you?
it's just doing a little walk around because this is probably boring for you guys.
People turned up, dressed up, and ready to go. They got their flags.
Sun's dipping off.
This is something we need to figure out before it's too late. We need to figure out how to organize ourselves, because if we don't organize ourselves,
I don't know what we're tuned for, but
this is what the Jews are good at.
occasionally little things just erupt and people get excited. I don't know what it's about.
Is that true? They stopped the trains?
It is called a march, but I'm not really seeing any marches. Oi! Oi! Oi!
You see, this is divide and conquer, isn't it?
Oh, here we go. Here's one kicking off.
Someone's yelling at a Nazi. There's a lot of older people there. You can see how we're just going to die off. And we got no political power in our own country. There's no organization here. People don't really listen or get behind each other too much. Oh, okay, we're going to hate the Nazis? Well, that just feeds into what they want.
I'm not sure what the upset up is here.
And that's why they're flooding us with more immigrants, because they know that we're not organized.
361 people, man.
You get a bunch of people standing in the park across the road. There's the clock there. You can see the clock up there, up left, at the top. That's Central Station, Sydney.
It's getting a bit aggressive.
And he's facing kind of George Street's on the right and York Street's on the left.
They're Nazis.
They're Nazis. He's angry. Well, that's what they're there for, to divide you up. You know, you get a bunch of, you get like 10 Jewish people together, they're going to coordinate better than this. Like that guy.
I should have brought one of those things. My hands fucking shake when I go up that high. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't hold. I might have to move back so I can see more, because my hands are too shaky. Hold on, guys. All right, moving around that side.
Are there any speeches going on or not? So I guess that's kind of why you need some people to organize these things, set up a stage. It's hard for Australians to understand the importance of this type of political activism.
Yeah, they're talking. We got a few bit more excitement happening now.
Until it's too late. There's so many
me too.
people getting politically active that come from overseas.
I gotta say, I'm a bit embarrassed with this turnout. I don't want to be blocking people's view, but there's fuck all happening. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not back there. I can't hear anything. Doing another little round. Sorry.
Okay, maybe he's at the wrong area. I might speed it forward a bit. He was out there for 3 hours.
They're just normal blokes filming. Oh, I see what you mean. Gotcha. That's the Melbourne one. What about, has anyone seen the Brisbane? I'm moving back. Baby here in the fucking Rumble chat. But we were talking about you on the pod before. Oh, Bill, we were talking. Hey, everyone in the chat, if I have any friends here.
Thanks for sticking around.
It's got quite the crowd in the chat.
We might end up with a. Hopefully, it's the right kind.
No, it's starting to up. I've got to go stuff again. Like, I just want to. I'm going to give it another, like, say, 20 minutes. And if we haven't started moving, everyone's pissed off about the bridge march. Exactly. I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to
Become a
start
bit of a
moving.
stop here, but
Let me
march on out of here in a sec if it doesn't start fucking moving. Here we go. 5 minutes.
By the police that will be going southward underneath the bridge. Please walk in a orderly fashion. No running, just walking and safety and loving Australia.
The elbows are up, Spider. Yeah. Yeah, see, there's some funnies in the crowd here today. I seen one aggro dude and one uptight mummy, and that was it. Everyone else is chilled. I'm a bit uptight, but that's just me. So we're moving in 5.
All right, so they're going to get moving soon. So let me
Go out the front
brainstorm so that
Feel
you
a bit of a
guys
better look.
get a bit of an idea of how I see the real movement behind the
We're
marches
starting to spill
happening.
out. And I pause this
We don't
first
just march.
elbow.
We don't just march.
Starting to spill out onto the street here.
And we don't just put on events and talking and then speeches and allow
I
politicians
feel a little bit more like a
jump on and co-opt them,
demonstration.
because those politicians that put on the big events are
I
funded
think
by
the hold
some
up is because these
big
fucking
political
police
party,
need to,
or they're funded by somebody.
finger us the whole.
I'll mute him while I'm talking. The big organized rallies, they take cash. That cash comes from so many big political parties and countries abroad. Turning Point USA is one of those with Charlie Kirk. He'll put on big event, and then what will happen is, at the end of it, the whole point of it is to rally all these people with a lot of money to vote for the Republican Party. And so when you've got these big organized rallies happening, it's inevitable that they're going to be co-opted by a political party or a foreign nation that has the cash to put on these events. What we're seeing here is what happens when the average person in the street gets together. You see? But this isn't it. Getting people out just to rally isn't it. This is just one of multiple things you need to be doing. And one of the biggest things that you can do in your private, it didn't go through, Camo. I don't know. Let me have a close look. I'll have a close look. See if it's in there in a second. I can't see it, actually. Yeah, nothing popped up. I'll have to have a look at the stream somewhere else. One thing that you can be doing in your private life is, okay, so this is how the immigrants are playing this game. They go to a suburb in the beginning, in the early days, and it's full of white people. And they start up a business. And so what they do is they make sure that let's just say they're Chinese as an example. They make sure that all of the Chinese people go to their business. They make sure that only Chinese people, they know which is the Chinese business so that business can thrive. When that business can thrive, they can spend money on other Chinese businesses within Australia. Okay? And so if you're a white Australian, you need to know which are the white businesses. You go to the Aussie mechanic. You go to the Aussie doctor. You go to the Aussie dentist. You go to the Aussie accountant. And you build a relationship with them and them only. And in some cases, how the Jews took over the United States, because the Jews were banned from traveling to the United States or immigrating to the United States in the beginning because, I don't know, we knew that was how they operated. How the Jews did it in the early days was they would coordinate themselves, and they would I'll turn it up, but no, it's not that loud. The Jews would coordinate themselves amongst certain businesses, and they would work together, not only to make sure that their people went to each business, but they would also coordinate to sabotage other businesses. That's how they got rich. So what I'm suggesting here is, let's just say there's an Australian that runs a big business, a white guy. You should all go to his business, and you should talk to him and let him know that the only reason you're going to his business is because he's a white Australian. And by the way, you have a business over here, and we would like to have a relationship. And I'm going to send all of the other white guys that I know to your business, and you're going to coordinate with all of yours, and we're going to help out each other. Also, if the white guy that's running the business is very successful, but he's got a competitor down the street, you can get political to try and destroy that business. Example is, like, let's just say it's a Chinese business. Let's just say he's running a construction company, and his main competitor is a Chinese company. All the Aussies should get political and try to destroy that other business.
Immigration, we're against immigration right
This
fucking
is
now.
what the Jews have done forever. This
Maybe,
is why
you
they're
know,
all lawyers.
with a bit
They
much
will
love,
sue or
maybe
try
we don't have a
to. They'll
fucking
even go into the business and then try to get the business to do something wrong, and then try to sue them and cause them as much trouble as possible to take out the competitors. So the only business that rises to the top is run by their people. Okay, so when we're talking about how white Australians can take back the country, they take it back on the suburb level, where you know one guy, one Aussie that's already quite successful, and you get behind him and try to take out his competitors. And you make sure that every other Aussie that you know only buys from him and will not buy from the other people. Because this is what all of the other races are doing in Australia as we speak. All of the other races, you know, the whole reason why we have Chinatown, so that the Chinese could, you know, do business amongst themselves. The only reason we have Koreatown, and when we look around, oh, it came through. Camo, it came through. Thanks, Camo.
Fucking sick flag too. It's a big banner one. Look
Massive.
There.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
So I just want to get this point through. I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about here, where at the ground level, you can actually support Aussies in their businesses. You can actively make sure that the Aussie in your neighborhood has the biggest mechanic, the biggest builder, the best doctor, biggest medical centers run by an Aussie. That's how we get our power. That's how we get our ground root wealth. In extreme cases, what will happen is what you would have is, in extreme cases, the Jewish people in the United States, they would actually go and firebomb enemy businesses and take them out so that only the Jewish business would run. Now, the Jewish people have politics. They have politicians that they run, and they can actively just change policy to give all the money to themselves anyway. For instance, we've got Chatswood in Sydney, where all of the Chinese work together to get rich. Look, if you start up a business and only Aussies support you, it is a bit ridiculous that I have to explain that. True. Oh yeah, thanks Camo for trying again. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's ridiculous I have to explain this, but it's also makes sense that I need to explain this, because we were brought up thinking that Aussies could just do business with everybody in our community. We would just use capitalism, and we'll just go to the best person for the job, and that everybody would act like us. But that's not how it happened, because every other race enters and they only deal with each other. All we will be doing is using the strategies of the different races within Australia that they've been using for the last 50 or more years. More. We'll be using their strategies to try and make it an even playing field. That's all. But I'll go a lot further to say that sabotaging enemy businesses. You've got an Aussie, let's just say you've got an Aussie that has a business in your local area, and there's multiple other businesses run by other races. I would say that it is totally justified to go out there and totally destroy all of the other businesses and have every other white person in your neighborhood, every other white guy go actively work together to destroy the other business. So the only business that survives is run by the white Australian man. And so he's the only one that can get rich in that particular industry. Because this is what the Chinese do. This is what the Jews do. This is what the Indians do. You know, when Donald Trump put out those reciprocal tariffs, they were never reciprocal. You got countries that have like 50% tariffs on the United States, and he puts 20% tariffs on them in return, and they get angry. Because white people and white society has been exploited all this time. Even though we benefit from it, racially we don't, because they're racist domestically. So you've got all the Chinese going to one Chinese business. You've got all the Koreans going to one Korean business. You've got, you know, all the Jews only supporting other Jews. All the Indians. You know, every Hungry Jack's is run by an Indonesian. You know, every 7-Eleven, I know it's a bit of a cliche, is full of Indians. You know, you've got suburbs just for Chinese people like Chatswood. They work together. While we're the masses of white people that just fluff around. And this protest being unorganized is kind of a good representation of how we coordinate. And this is the beginning of us starting to learn, because we're not going to get good at this by getting it wrong. By getting it right first time, we're not going to get it right. Sorry. We are going to fail, we are going to get it wrong, and then we're going to protest again, and we're going to get it right. The problem is we're going to be co-opted by other interests, political parties. We're going to be co-opted by multiple different races,
I mean, I'm ideological.
political interests. That's what I do. That's my purpose here, is to identify it. It's like with the Turning Point Australia Joel Jamal guy. That guy's not for Australia. My job is to identify that you can't trust that guy. He's going to be putting on big rallies. He's probably funded by somebody somewhere somehow. And he doesn't have your interests. He's going to pretend to be like Charlie Kirk does. That's my role. My role is to think about that. Your role is also to turn up and protest, but it's also to be mindful of who's behind it. And domestically, if you're an Aussie, you need to have a close, like if there's you need to focus on the businesses. You need to focus on the businesses that are Aussie businesses. If you go to a mechanic, you need to actively, and it's going to sound racist, you're going to talk to him and say, look, you know why I come to you? Because you're a white man, and all of these other cunts cannot be trusted. And do you have any competitors in the area that I can help you to sabotage? Like, that's a conversation that your local mechanic should be getting every day. How can I help you to destroy the competition the same way those people have destroyed my country? Because all of the political problems in this country come from Asians getting together and having that conversation every day for 30 to 50 years, and we were just oblivious to that conversation. We didn't know. That's what the Koreans do. You can never trust the fucking Korean. Koreans are the most racist. That's why Korea is about to be destroyed, by the way. I've been talking about that for years on this channel. South Korea is about to be destroyed. It will be destroyed. North Korea is going to get involved. Maybe even Japan might go to war with South Korea itself. But that needs to go before Taiwan. And we're going to no doubt be flooded with a lot of racist Koreans when that war kicks off. But this is what they do. And that's what they've done from the very beginning when we started letting immigration into the country from different races. And this is why when I talk about it being racial, all of you people will always come in. I promise you, what I'm talking about in the future will happen, and everyone will realize that this is purely race-based in the end. You will realize it. You might disagree with me now, but in the future, you will all agree with me in the future, because it's the only way this is going to end. Because if you've got the Koreans working together, the Koreans hate the Japanese and the Chinese, they hate everybody. They hate the Indians. You've got the Indians coming in working together. You got the Chinese working together. You got the Jews working together. They're all race-based networks corrupting our country from within. There will come a point where you've got nothing left but another white dude down the street to rely on. So we're going where I'm telling you that we're going, regardless of whether you like it or not. And we had this utopian sort of vision that everyone was going to be nice and they weren't going to be racially based. But it is. Unfortunately, it is. It's racially based.
Wow, we're getting pretty close, I think, to the other destination. Which there'll be a few stages this time. Guys, I hope this is a good year for you. I'm sorry if this is not that great. But we did get right for the front. Elbows a wanker. Elbow must go. Elbow must go. Elbows a wanker. Elbows a wanker. Elbows a wanker. Elbow must go. Elbow must go. Okay, elbow must go. Elbow must go. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Aussie. Oi. Aussie. Oi. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Elbows a wanker. Elbows a wanker. Some cunts in the street kicking off. The liberals in the street. Lefties. My back fucking hurts from holding this camera up, eh? Might have to go off to the side in a minute. Just so I can lower it down a bit. We're almost there, see? Still well over 900 people here. Thank you for that. We've come to a stop again, real quick. Right in the fucking sleep. They want hot chicks behind the hot chicks behind the banner, please. There was a few honeys back here. They want families and hot chicks. Yeah, they were.
They're funny.
So they're just doing a bit of a recruitment for the hotties and the memes.
What is he saying? There's some hot chicks there. Yeah, it's good. Some Australian women are starting to realise they would have called you an extreme racist, and they would have attacked you for criticizing immigrants and other races even a decade ago. Because trust me, I went through that. I was one of the founding people that made videos criticizing Asian immigration to Australia. I've had so many videos. You know how many strikes this channel has got from me criticizing African immigration? I lost so many videos and got banned for a week. I can't upload, demonetized, attacked. So, you know, things are starting to change where even the white Australian women are starting to lose their rights in the country because they hear the conversations from a lot of the immigrants. They hear it, they see it, they see how unfair it is, and they're starting to lose their rights as well. We need to keep in mind it's not just Albo. This is the same as when people talk about Benjamin Netanyahu. Oh, we just need to replace Benjamin Netanyahu with another leader in Israel and everything will be okay, and we'll just forget about all the problems that he created. That's not how it works. Regime change, they just put another puppet in charge. Albo's not the problem, it's the system. It's not the Labour Party, it's the Liberal and the Labour Party, it's everything. Yeah, the new hate speech laws. They were put in, so the majority of people are pushing back against, Jewish control, and they're protesting on behalf of Palestine. It's not that we're all terrorists. It's just that we're sick of the Jews telling us what to do in our own country. So a lot of people are turning up. Yeah, getting shamed as well. But yeah, then Albo came under a lot of pressure from the Israel lobby in Australia. A lot of pressure, and then Albo's come out and he's pushed this false flag event with the Iran's doing hate attacks in Australia.
I'll just sweat the cunt out.
So Iran's doing hate attacks in Australia, so therefore we need to oppress all white men more in Australia. How does that work? Take away more of our speech? Start putting us in jail for saying anti-Semitic slurs? And a lot of these freedom rallies, the majority of the people out there running the more organized, the channels that are getting all the clicks, they're run by Israel. They're not run by Australians. This This guy here
right
is
in my
clearly
pocket
just
here.
an Aussie guy that decided to go to the march and live stream it. He's a real Australian, and you can see that he's a real Australian. But there's not many real Australians left. Especially online, because they wanna make sure that they control everything.
The few people that can get here in a car, fucking doing the loop with their flags. But they
Yeah,
can't get
unfortunately,
traffic.
the big bucks comes from the big organizers. There's not a lot of deep thought that goes into what the masses do.
We'll get a better view in a minute when we.
And I
get
think
close to the
if I
destination.
could get into the heads of all of these, I would explain to them. I would get them to look in their local neighborhoods
like
and
one of those
figure out
things being out
what
the front, you can't
businesses
see
are
the
run
front.
by real Australians. Go have a conversation with them, and figure out which guys are real Aussies in your neighborhood,
kicked over 1,000
and tell them that
views.
you're going to support their
Concurrent, thank
business,
you.
and we're going to work together in the local neighborhood to make sure that all the other businesses that are destroyed are not run by people like you. You see? That's how you do it on the local, in your local area. And this is why the Chinese had to set up Chatswood. They set up Chatswood so that all the Chinese could go to one area, and all of the Chinese would support Chinese businesses because the power comes from big business. While Australians compete amongst everybody, and other Australians don't support them. Yeah, I've seen that. Notice the News is run by the Nazis, by the way, just so you know. So a lot of the big organized stuff is run by basically somebody with money. That's what we're up against. And so there's only so much that you can do. The Notice and News is run by the Nazis, and I think the Nazis are funded by the Jews to slander us. It's called noticing. This is what the Nazis say. Oh, I noticed a pattern. This is a Nazi thing. So Notice and News it's definitely like those articles are run by the Nazis. They're written by the Nazis, etc. And I think they're funded under the table by the Jews, probably through XRP, through the crypto. You can't trace it. You see? You can't trace it. It's not traceable. And this is why Donald Trump and the Israel lobby that controls Donald Trump brought in all these new laws to make crypto legal, so that they can fund all of their political parties, and that they can
little difficult to see from here, 'cause I'm
and
at the front,
then you
buried in the
can
middle.
get
it was all right.
remove the cash out of the country,
Could have been a lot better.
and it's non-traceable.
Penny Wong is
So
wrong.
it's not traceable, Bruce.
Penny Wong is wrong.
It's not.
All right,
It's
now
not
we've been
unless
shuffled
you
into
connect
the
it to
park.
a bank account.
Here at Victoria Park in Sydney.
And it's only let me explain to you guys out there. So it's traceable, but you don't know who owns it. So let me explain. You have a wallet with $1 billion in it. You can move it anywhere in the world. You don't have to pay taxes on those movements. You move it to a political party in Australia,
Of course there is. 'cause we
and then what you do is
wanna
it
make
goes
it look
into the
horrible.
wallet. Let me explain. I'll explain it to you guys, so you don't know. I'm a little bit more up to date with how this runs. So you move $20 million to a political party in Australia into their wallet. Sure, that's traceable. I get that. Now, I'm not talking about privacy coins at all. We're working on another level here, okay? Let me explain. Then if you're in Australia, you get that wallet, and then you connect that wallet to a third-party website, and you can convert it into any currency you want in the world. And that third-party website, so you connect your wallet. You've received $20 million. I don't know. You've received $20 million from the Jews into your wallet. It's traceable. Oh no.
Sorry, guys.
But that $20 million is not traceable by the Australian government until it goes into an Australian bank account. Okay? So what you do is you then move it, even though your wallet is sitting in Australia. You've got your wallet, it's in your pocket, and you're on George Street, Sydney. But then you move the cash from that wallet to another. No, I'm not talking about Tornado. No, I'm not even talking about that. You move it. You can even use your ID, and it could be in Dubai because you've set up a bank account in Dubai, and you can do it all from sitting at Town Hall steps in Sydney. You get your $20 million, boom, move it to a third-party website, and then you move it to a Dubai bank account. And then from that Dubai bank account, you can basically buy any service in Australia. You can pay for the hosting of your website. You can pay for protesters. You can pay for everything. It's not convoluted at all. It's what people are doing. It's what's smart. How do you think 100,000 millionaires left Britain this year? It's not convoluted. It's not complex. Money go into cold storage wallet. Cold storage wallet, connect to website, send XRP, convert XRP into shekels or euros or yuan or real or USDT or USDC. And then move that, connect it into a bank account anywhere in the world. And it's only traceable by the government of the country that has the bank. It's as simple as that. So you kind of get what I mean.
That split up pretty quick. We're all still here, but
yeah, it is traceable. But what part of the government was it run by?
Oh, I'm glad to pull my
it was created by.
My lower back is
I can't believe we're going down this.
all for you lads and
I've always said that the NSA created Bitcoin.
24.
The NSA, which is Silicon Valley, and who runs Silicon Valley? Israel.
Somehow I'm still at the fucking front of this thing.
Huh?
No,
and why was Bitcoin created in the first place in 2008? Think about it. Financial collapse. The financial collapse happened, and they wanted to help the Chinese people to facilitate capital flight out of their country. They used Bitcoin to facilitate the capital flight out of China. And it was all traceable. They knew exactly who was getting the money out. You transfer it to Hong Kong, and then on arrival, the Hong Kong bank would give you all of the money. I don't know who's funding what, but I'm just trying to explain to you how if you use XRP, you cannot be traced. And this is how they're doing it. In fact, it is how they're actually doing it. It's what they're doing.
There are now quite a few thousand people spilling in all entrances of the park.
No, you fund the Nazis and then you have a justification for bashing white men in the streets because every white man gets slandered as a Nazi moving forward if he complains about immigration.
Let's get this character
some Chinese guy steals your job and you go, hey, you're that's my job. I'm a white Australian. I was born here. You just arrived on boat. They go, you're a Nazi. You might get fired. Yeah, Bitcoin is traceable. But yeah, I get what you mean. But remember the guy that ran
on a rest against a tree,
yeah? John McAfee? He was heavily into Monero. What you guys are thinking, you're thinking a couple years ago. I'm giving you the cutting edge today. I'm telling you what's happening right now. You're thinking in the past, oh, it's traceable. You got to use Monero. You got to use... By the way, Donald Trump made it legal again to use Cyclone Cash. Just so you know. So Cyclone Cash is exploding right now. You can use it legally in the United States. So you can put your XRP into Cyclone Cash and then bring it out the other end. And technically, it's not traceable. Okay? But that's old technology. You see, this is how they get you. It's because the smartest people are in the government, and they're always several steps ahead of you. I just told you what's the cutting edge. Anywhere in the world, you can use your crypto, you can use a foreign bank account, and then you can use that foreign bank account to buy anything within your country. And the only person that's going to have a problem with it is if that foreign country has an issue. So you receive $100 million in your private account in Australia, your private wallet, and then you move it to Israel, use an Israeli bank account to buy anything you want in Australia. You probably buy property as well. And Israel only looks after Israelis. You're not going to get taxed on it. They're not going to bother you about it.
Okay. I think we're at the muster point. Try and get ahead of it. Okay, now we've got some proper film cameras in here. And we do have
It's
a
good
bit
to
of
see
a
people
plan.
out there anyway. Good to see people at least mobilizing.
Let's go to the front so I don't have to lift this.
But you can kind of see that this is not really achieving much, is it? You get a bunch of Aussies together. All of the youth, all of the power. It was definitely more behind
2015 people.
the Palestinian rally. So you got the Muslims and the Jews fighting each other, and they're heavily motivated and organized and heavily funded. And the Aussies get together going, hang on, can all of you guys just go away? Because this is our country.
Go a bit louder, lad.
And yeah, like it's not exactly a young university-led protest, is it? See, everyone's in their 40s or above. And this is how they get you through demographics. And this is what the government knows. So, Sir Richard, stop saying it's Israel taking over. No, Israel did take over. And
Can you hear that? Can you hear that lad testing?
yeah, Desi Freeman.
No.
Desi Freeman is a Ned Kelly that we should get behind. But it is Israel, by the way. It really is. So many important politicians are funded by Israel in Australia. It's true. I'll tell you what happens. I'll tell you what happens when you meet important people in Australia. They'll give you a little spiel about how they escaped the Holocaust. And you'll think to yourself, how did your dad escape the Holocaust? He wasn't even born because it was 1940 something. Why are you giving? And then you click and you realize it's just a code word to see if you're Jewish too. It's just, and this is what happens. So you can say it in a group of people and you can direct it at one person because you think that they're on your side.
Walking around now. Just singing and shit.
And then what they do is they realize whether you're one of them or not. And they don't need to explicitly say it. If you think about us trying to conspire and have a conspiracy to try and work together, and I have to live stream it and spell it out how the strategy is going to be played out, and our enemies can watch me explaining this, we're already lost because we've already lost the information battle already. The fact that I need to explain it to you guys online and that we're not doing it privately.
I just wonder if that little
because that's what the Jewish people do. That's what the Chinese people do. China has a long, you know, those those
in the pavement.
You know, China has these. I'm just reading the chat. China has these
Now he's talking, of course.
these cakes. They're like
go back.
autumn.
Can't hear him.
I forgot the name of it. These autumn cakes, and in between, in the middle of this cake, there should be like an egg yolk. Now these cakes, they celebrate its Mid-Autumn Festival every year, and let me explain to you guys what it means. That little egg yolk in the middle of the cake is the same as someone smuggling a crowbar into jail with a cake. So what they do is the Chinese would have little messages inside the cake, and that's how they would spread the word secretly around China when they had the warring states period. And so they have a long societal history of conspiracy within China. The Australian people don't have that. And so to try to learn that, it's not in our blood to really do that. But this is why we're being outgamed within our own countries, because the Jews are magnificent at this conspiracy, conspiring together. And the Chinese are magnificent at conspiring together. It's literally in their blood. They're magnificent at it. And you see the Chinese with the Mid-Autumn Festival, if you look at the, so whatever they're called, I forgot the name of them. And the cake has like an egg yolk in the middle. The egg yolk is to represent the secret message. And so what they'll do is they'll make the cakes and they'll put a message like, we're going to attack here. We're going to meet here. We are going to get behind this politician. And they would hand the cakes out, thousands, hundreds, millions all over China. And as soon as you eat the cake, you get the little message. And the message is how to coordinate within China. And they were doing this 1,000 years ago. And so when I was doing all of my China research in the early days, I was pointing out what they were doing because I was at least aware of the history of China.
New arrivals a day.
We're also aware of the history of how Jewish people conspire as well. And so the Australian people we're just not prepared for this. Conspiring together, getting together and having putting your phone away so that they can't tap your phone. Listen to the audio because, Celebrite is run by the Jews and the Japanese, in case you didn't know that. Your phone is being tapped by the Jews and the Japanese as we speak, and I can prove it. Actually, that'll be my next video. I will prove it to you in the next video that everything is being tapped. But the conspiring together, we're at a massive disadvantage. Massive disadvantage. Yeah, I saw that meme. That meme popped up recently. Imagine being expelled from 109 countries and then blaming the local population. It wasn't just Germany. It's like every country they get to, they conspire. You also got to understand, Israel is like the first country that the Jews are really ruled, and I don't know how many hundreds of years. The reason is because they don't want to do all of the fighting or the building. They want you to do it. And so they get into your country, they control the propaganda, they control the politicians, they control the lawyers, and they conspire heavily. So they just sit on their asses stealing all of your hard work.
Same arguments you'd have. We build countries with fucking massive immigrations. Spread too thin.
There's a lawyer. There's a lawyer that figured this out in Sydney. I've been trying to reach out to him. It's almost impossible. I'd like to interview him.
UK, Canada, USA, and most of
He
Europe.
was exposing how there's a company in Australia that monitors everything you do online. People complain about China, but Australia is just as bad. It's called Celebrite.
We brought in something like as
He made a
many
video
Indians
recently.
in the
I will
last 13
cover
years
that
as we
video.
did Anglos in
Maybe the
last
next
100.
video I make, I'll cover it. And also, I dug into the company a little bit, just surface level. That company is funded now by Japan. Ah. So I'm going to give you some cutting edge
It's going to
stuff
have to move about.
in the next video. I
You're
think
not going to hear shit.
Japan and North Korea might conspire with China to take out South Korea. And I think the Japanese with their app Line, they know everything that they go into, every message that goes through Thailand right now. There's many countries that use the Line app. The servers go through Japan. And the Japanese are they are funding Celebrite in Australia, and they have exceptional intelligence on every Australian in the country. So I think that the Japanese are going to declare independence from the United States soon, and that will also mean regime change in South Korea. And if South Korea fights back, South Korea will be decimated. And that will happen long before anything happens to Taiwan. Yeah, give us a like. I forget to do that stuff.
I'm a bit jammed up here.
No, I didn't. I did not know that. And by the way, guys, here's a question for you guys. How many genders are in the Bible? How many genders? Give me a number. Come on, one person. How many genders are in the Bible? 0. Okay, well, there's Adam and Eve. There's 2 genders in the Bible. Good one, Bruce. Now I trust you about all of your XRP analysis as well. Bruce comes in and says 0. Or 2 sexes, sorry, whatever. I didn't go to my gender classes. But anyway, how many genders are in the Torah? There's like 7 or 8 or something. And so when you're listening to Charlie Kirk, who's run by the Jews who love the Torah, and he's criticizing all of the genders in the United States, he's playing both sides, because all of the genders, all of the trans stuff, it came from the Torah. It came from the Jewish people. So the Jewish people create the problem, and everyone's like, what is this crazy multi-gender crap that's going on? And they brainwash kids in university because they might be smart, but they're not wise. They don't understand what's going on to them. And so they create the problem, and then they create the solution with Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk. We're going to fight the genders. It's like, where did the genders come from in the first place? It came from Charlie Kirk's people anyway. It's the same as 9/11. We create the enemy, and then the solution is you give us money. The same as recently there was the fake psyop with the Iranian attacks. We create the fake Iranian attacks, and we create the solution, more censorship. But the ultimate goal was the more censorship all along. And that's how they do it. They play both sides. And they're never, ever going to share a clip of me, even if it is to slander me, because they know that it will drive more traffic to me. So I can say the most outrageous crap ever, but they're never, ever going to share this channel. Ever. They will create their own people as the enemy, and they will fight amongst their own people. So you've basically got two people to choose from, and they're both working against you. Well, there's a whole bunch of them. You can actually look Lanai, sorry.
All right, guys.
You can just Google it right now. Just Google how many
Gonna do a few
genders
more
are in the
speeches and
Torah.
stuff.
You know, you can also chat GBT it. You can Grok. Grok is probably the best one at the moment. You can use Grok.
I'll walk around.
Well, the Talmud and the Torah are exactly the same thing, by
Excuse
the
me,
way.
guys.
They're exactly
Sorry.
the same
You're right.
thing. One is the spoken and one is the written. Okay, just so you know, they're exactly the same thing. And what the rabbis are constantly doing is they're constantly discussing everything. And so they will go into the Torah and they will then argue all of the different points amongst themselves. You know, they will discuss it, and this is what makes Jewish people such good lawyers, is because
I don't know who the
they
fuck
come
that is.
from it's in their blood to argue the law, because for generations they've been arguing the Torah. But yeah, just Google it right now. Look, hell, I'll Google it right now too.
No one can hear him. Yeah. This is a bit of a disaster. No one can hear him. I'm just gonna.
You know, keep it straight white. Thanks, mate.
This is keep Australia white. I think I've already got one of these, but sorry, guys.
Here he comes. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Sorry, guys. I have to fall back. That's inaudible, and
It says 8 genders.
in the shade somewhere because my back hurts.
Oh, thank you, Guy. Massively appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, so I Googled it, and the Talmud has genders. They told me the Talmud, Torah, same thing, really. You guys can Google it yourself. And then if you're wondering why the United States is always talking about genders and everything, and you want to know where it came from, it came from them. Oh, that's his stream. His stream.
I can hear him.
I think his stream died. What's this last one here? I got another one here. We got Dave. Oh, he's out there doing interviews. That might be interesting. Live at Sydney, March, Australia. Yeah, we'll check this guy out. Yeah, there we go.
Good bloke. So we're going to keep wandering around, see if we can find people to talk to. No, I've just started. Yeah.
Oh, so this is at the same protest in Sydney that we saw before. Yeah, Perth. I think most of them will be over by now, though. This is in Central Station. Okay, he did some interviews.
This is live stream. I'm live streaming out on hundreds of people watching. What brought you to the rally today?
Well, same as everyone else has come here for the anti-mass immigration in Australia. It's just beyond. It's just gone too far. We don't mind a fair amount of people coming here, but it's just over the top there with the amount of immigration coming on. We just don't have the facilities, the infrastructure, anything for the amount of people coming in.
What do you think of Albo and the job he's doing with it?
He's a wimp, and he's too far left, and he's just gone on with all the rest of the Western countries where they're just allowing all this refugees invading and causing havoc in all these Western countries, and he's just going along with them.
So you think Australia is multicultural or tried and it's failed?
It is multicultural and it's very good, but it comes to a point when you've got to filter it out and slow it down a bit. Let the rest of the economy catch up.
Communist, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about the supply and demand problem with it.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing this makes is houses and I'm a carpenter, to build for all the excess people coming into this place,
So what do you say to all the people that said that you're a racist for coming here?
We're not racist. We just want to keep Australia as with our...
I think it's time to be proud to be a racist, because everybody else is proud to be a racist and proud of themselves for defensive purposes. This is not offensive. This is defensive. The Chinese, when they first came to Australia, when they created their little enclaves, that was defensive, and we understood that it was defensive. Now we're being swamped in our own country. Being racist is actually defensive. There's no offense about it. It's all defense because we're losing everything. And we know that if you let a Chinese person rule Australia, Australia will become basically ruled by the government in China. If we continue to allow immigration from all these different countries, they will get very political and they will bring their awful ideas here. All we have to do is look at their countries. Now, the last thing we want is an Indian prime minister, because look at India. No offense to all the Indians out there, but you guys haven't done a good job of your own country. So you should not think that you're going to do a good job in mine. It's defense. You should be proud of it.
Own culture, and we welcome everybody who wants to come here and be Australian. Very good. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, sir. Have a good day.
And it only works if we're ruled by Australians, but they don't want that. This is a big part of this. The immigrants have got so many numbers in the country now. They're now deciding that they want to rule Australia themselves. All of the immigration, all of the freedom, all of the rights are being squandered in this country recently, and the crackdowns are happening because all of the foreigners are trying to take political power in the country. And unfortunately, there's a lot of old guys like this that are really, we need the young people to get involved. And I've seen some stats recently in the United States, the most radical right, white Americans, the most radical are around 20 years old, which is very, very, it's very positive. I think a lot of Australians are becoming the same way. And this is not an offensive attack. This is defense. Because if we let them take over Australia, they will legitimately lock us up and kill us, because they are the real racists. I'm over here in Asia right now. I got to tell you, these people are really racist, like awful, awful people. And if we let a leader from any of these Asian countries get in power in Australia, there would be absolute bedlam in Australia. We also need to step back and look at the macro situation. World War III has begun. Like, this is not a conspiracy. This is not crazy. This is what I do. I look at how the world works. World War III, we're preparing for World War III right now. The billionaire war has begun. The billionaires are trying to figure out where they're going to go and what governments they're going to side with. The bankers are trying to figure out which countries they're going to side with. So you've got Australian billionaires siding with China sometimes. You've got Australian billionaires siding with Israel. You've got Australian billionaires sending their money to China and Israel and the United States. So just the billionaires can cross borders, but you and me can't. You see, this is why I'm bouncing around Asia. It's because I can't just go to one country, no matter how much money I have, and then just buy a long-term visa. In some countries in Asia, I can only stay for 1 or 2 months. Eventually, that's all going to be locked down, and I'm going to have nowhere else to go other than back to Australia, grab my pitchforks, and die on the battlefield of Sydney, George Street, trying to take it back, Ned Kelly style. But anyway, let's see what other interviews he does. This is basically a replay of what we just watched.
Another point of view there.
He's not getting very many interviews, though. Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah, you want to have a chat? Yeah, no worries. Got someone who saw me streaming. They want to say hello, so let's look it around and say hello. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yep.
What brings you out here today? What's your concern?
I just love my country. It's God's country, and we've got to keep it that way. I saw people burning the Australian flag, and I just thought that was just horrible. It's not right. You know?
What one that says where everyone here is racist?
I think that Australia is Australia because of multiculturalism. We all come here from different backgrounds. This is God's country. We welcome everyone. But when you start being racist, when you start attacking the flag and the people, it is very, very disrespectful.
Yeah, so this is a young white man. Obviously, the internet's not very good, but he's a little bit behind on what's happening. He's a little bit behind. He hasn't caught up with the reality of the situation yet. You know, oh, we shouldn't burn the Australian flag. What does the Australian flag mean when you're run by Israelis that want to send Australians to their death in the Middle East? And then at the end of that, we don't have nothing changes at home. Oh, this is God's country. Okay, what God do you support? Yahweh?
You want to see people come to Australia but love Australia?
Of course. I want to see people come to Australia that love Australia, welcome you here, but you just got to respect our way of life and our culture. That is all.
Well, what is our culture? What is our way of life? It's really built by white men. Let's just get to the point. This is why, see, Australia has the least amount of immigration and problems that, you know, Britain is in free fall collapse. You know, over 100,000 millionaires have left the country this year. Canada is in free fall too. And so Australia is one of the countries that has been a little bit shielded. We're the last Western country to fall. And they're trying to speed it up by flooding us with Africans. They know that Africans are very good at destroying a society. And And, you know, it might take 20 years for them to totally decimate the place. I'd say 10, you know. So he's not fully aware yet of, he's not woken up. In the United States, white men of his age are the most radicalized pro-white people probably in the world, because they're surrounded by scumbags that hate them.
So you're not here because you're a Nazi?
Of course not. I hate the Nazis. I'm studying history. The Nazis were terrible people.
You notice he asked him if he, it's an awful stream. The internet's not working very well. Why ask him if he's a Nazi? You see the psyop that I'm telling you about? Has to be promoted by Israel. Has to be.
However, I believe that we need to defend our way of life, so there's no hatred here. Because this is a street.
What happened to this guy's connection?
And
I'll try to find somewhere else. Hopefully it clears up when he gets out of that area.
Here live. Be interesting to see how they portray.
Yeah, you can see how everybody's asking if you're a Nazi. You can see how, you know, you get a couple of guys together that say that they're Nazis. They do a few protests. Next thing you know, everyone's talking about that, not realizing the psyop that's happening.
G'day, mate. I'm just live streaming. Can I have a word with you and just ask why you're here today? Yeah. What brought you to the rally today? What's your concerns?
I think no concerns to me.
Yeah.
I'm Australian since probably 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you know,
Jews are jamming the signal.
accent English.
Yeah.
But I have been committed to this
Australia.
country.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the mass immigration that's happening now? Different from your time?
Got to be quality first.
Yeah.
But
We also need to understand that there are a lot of freedom-loving Chinese in the country too. While I was doing all of my anti-China, you know, geopolitical analysis for years there, a lot of my supporters were Chinese, you know, talking about all of those things. And so you can kind of see how they're turning up as well. You know, in the United States, there's a lot of Mexicans that are against immigration as well. There's so many Mexicans in the United States that don't want any more immigration, because they know that all of those immigrants lower their wages and they're destroying the United States. You see? And so there's Mexicans that cross the border into the United States. As soon as they get in there, they want it to stop, because too many people flood into the United States. It ruins their standard of living too. Just like common sense. Oh yeah, so you remember that.
to be quality first. Planned, very well planned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What-
To be honest.
Yeah. What brought you to Australia? Why did you come here?
Why I'm coming here?
Yeah. Why did you come here 30 years ago?
Okay. Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. Democratic. And then a rich country.
And how do you think our governments are doing? Are they fulfilling?
what I would ask him is, are you from Hong Kong? Because a lot of Hong Kong people came to Australia 30 years ago. Yeah, so Chatswood is a legitimate Chatswood is a spot for the Chinese Communist Party. It's a hub. That's what it is. Chatswood is definitely a hub. And that's why I even moved. I don't know if you guys, so it sounds like Guy's been around. Guy's been around for a while. Before COVID, I moved to Chatswood just to report on what was going on in Chatswood. I was living in Chatswood, watching everything play out. And that's why I was getting a lot of clicks, because I was legit on the ground watching that Chinese colony that was working with the CCP. It still is. That hasn't changed. That's still a threat. But now we've got to the point where there's so many threats that we're getting drowned, unfortunately.
Think that promise of freedom, or do you think it's getting worse here?
Big change.
Yeah.
Since 30 years ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, good.
And when he arrived, he would have been dealing with white Australians. You see, even yeah, there we go. And we got Gladys Berejiklian fired. I know not many people in this stream that are listening right now, they wonder what happened to Gladys Berejiklian. It was my reporting that got the bitch fired because she was in bed with the CCP. Crooked bitch. We got rid of her though. The mainstream media was following me. They took it. ICAC investigated her. That was this channel that took down the Premier in New South Wales. But it's okay if I don't get the credit. It's all right. I did the reporting. We know where it came from. But he just made it very clear that things were better 30 years ago. That's when Australia, that was the Australia I grew up in, where everybody was basically white. It was safe. It was rich. Now we're just getting flooded. You can't earn enough money in Australia. Property prices are out of control. Now you've got the Chinese saying, look, it's time to leave. And this is where part of my prediction kicks in, where one of the few places left will be China. A lot of people will probably end up moving to China because they have a government that won't allow this to happen, unfortunately.
It's good being here. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. There we go. This guy came here 30 years ago for freedom.
Yeah, but you should be just interviewing Aussies. Should be
just love
interviewing only
Australia.
Aussies.
Yeah, it's Australia's our home. Got to respect it. Got to respect everything, our culture, everything about our life. I came here 55 years ago. I'm becoming emotional. Australia's my home, and got to protect what we have.
Oh
I
my
came here
God.
with my family. We took
Oh
on the
my
culture,
God. What have you been
and we
doing for
said,
the last
this
50
is our
years?
life. And I respect my home where I came from Greece. But my children and my grandchildren are Aussies. And we have to protect our flag. Love it. So thank you.
These were the same women that were crying, saying that white men that are sick of immigration are all, this is what the feminists would do as well years ago. It's, yeah, this is why we can't let women, like, it sounds awful. I get it, but, she might be on the right team now, but her emotions might change in 6 months' time, and then next thing you know, she's siding with somebody else, and that's part of the problem. She was, like, the questions that I would be asking her would be, did you support the lockdowns? Did you support, the vaccine? Did you support, where were you during the lockdowns? Where was your thinking at? Let's be honest. And now you're going to be like, oh, okay, immigration's bad. You know, during the lockdowns, Australia was, if the government, when the government kicked everybody out, Australia was the best place in the world to live. Literally during the lockdowns, if you lived like me and just ignored all of the rules. I ignored all of the rules, as many rules as I possibly could. I was out partying. I was out sneaking out on the trains, trying to avoid the police when they had the lockdowns and they had the curfew. But where was she when someone like me was saying these lockdowns and all of these problems are going to create a lot of inflation? Where were they? Well, they're probably on the wrong side. And they're the people that we listen to the most unfortunately.
There we go.
Do you have any more interviews?
People came here to love and adopt Australia.
You know, if this guy does more
And
interviews,
it's changing. They don't
he
want
could
that
be
change.
the Aussie Avi Yemeni,
We're
like
seeing
an actual Aussie.
bad
for
government
once.
policy.
Get out there and just do interviews. What do you guys think? Would you guys like me to come back and just hit the streets every day and just like
marching now.
interview people and complain about
March is
immigration
happening.
all day long? I could do that.
So we're going to try and
And I bet
talk it a bit.
if some of you guys are thinking about that, I would like to see some of you guys get out there and do the same thing. Doesn't look like he did any other interviews. Aussie. Yeah, you know, 2000, you know, the Olympics, were you guys at the Olympics? Heard that all the time. People were getting sick of it. Yeah, they go. That's the thing. Like, I've never seen a woman risk her life for society.
Albo must go.
There's
Isn't that
a-
part of the chance?
There's a reason why women in the United States support black men so much and have been anti-white men. It's because black men don't care about the rules. They will just get violent and attack and murder. They don't care about the consequences of their actions. And women know that they're the most violent in society. And so if you've got someone who doesn't care about the morals, they only support the most violent person in society, how can you trust them? They're cowards. And that's why a lot of women support black men and black rights.
Realize.
And because they're degenerates that just want the BBC. Let's be realistic. It's not because it's right or they've studied a lot of philosophy and they've become enlightened and wise. It's out of fear. So when people, and then good men have to die
Oh,
to try and
interesting.
fight for what's right.
Had a drive-by.
Bad.
Kind of wheelchair. Dropped the C-bomb. Police did not hesitate asking him to move on. Oh, sorry. No, you're welcome. All right. Thought that they were mobilizing to move, but we're not.
I know it sounds bad, but I'd like.
I think it's
to
fascinating.
hear-
We've got a guy here in the chat gloating about doing all the exact stuff that people are complaining about, and to tell us to suck it up.
Welcome, Mark.
And he's gloating about it. Wow.
Mark, I hope you take back your government. You need to overthrow that government
We've got a
in
big
Britain.
beach ball going, and a dog. Dog wanted the beach ball.
Now, Mark, what's it like in Britain when they let too much shit in the country? Let us know in the chat. What happens when they let too much shit in
dog.
the country?
That's a bigger ball.
Yeah, tell them they're dreaming. Yeah, I get it. Like, I'm not saying all women.
I love the innovation,
You know?
mate. How many different flags you've
I'm not
managed to
saying all
sort of,
women.
carry all at
And
once. well done.
This is how they get you. You know, it's
and on your hat too.
you know, the majority. You know, the majority are weak, and I've never. You know, this is why they would have
Good
like
on you, mate.
Jacinta Ardern in New Zealand instead of
Neighbour right
like
now.
an angry Maori
See
dude.
myself. Okay.
Because the angry Maori dude's
Yeah,
not gonna
I
let
do what I can.
Mark
Small channel, we're trying to
Zuckerberg
grow and
bring $1
get out
billion
there and,
into the
just bring a different
country
point of view than
and
the
then
mainstream
build
media.
a nuclear bunker only for himself. You see? Jacinda Ardern's gonna do it. You know what I mean?
It's been a youth. I reckon most of them are 30 to 50. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
There's
I
60 pluses.
over here in Asia, I met a British guy who a lot of his friends were arrested because they were protesting the rape gangs. They ended up
There's a bunch of
fighting.
Asians here as well. They
Hang on.
came here a little earlier, I suppose.
Actually, he's doing an interview. I might pause it for a second. But you're in Britain. Britain's where we're gonna end up. You know, and so let's just say, okay, let me just brainstorm for a bit. Don't blame me if I get this wrong. Okay, don't blame me if I get this incorrect, because this is going to be incorrect in some ways. What if we calculate how many British are left in Britain? We calculate it. We try to figure out how many British are left. And we calculate, is Britain going to survive? A lot of people would argue that all white people from Australia should leave Australia and go home. That's what a lot of the Aboriginals would argue. That's what a lot of the immigrants here would love to happen, because this is a wealthy country. Instead of that as an argument, I know Britain is the homeland. United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and somewhat South Africa, a lot of the countries that were colonized, we came from Britain. I've got British blood myself. Actually, I've got relatives from Luton. If you think about you know what's so weird here? A lot of the most prominent people in Britain came from Luton. And I have a relative who was from Luton. So I was like, what? I've got his birth certificate as evidence. Anyway, he was a Hamilton, by the way, just in case, you know. Anyway, this is where the Jews have an advantage, because they will just go wherever it's best. All the Jews will say Australia is the next place. We're leaving Britain, we're leaving Ireland, we're leaving Scotland behind because it's about to get crushed. There's too many Africans. There's too many people that hate it. We will flip to Australia that has a good reputation. It's got the resources, it's got the wealth, and we're all going to leave. This is where the Jews have a massive advantage, because they do that. And all of the Jews left Ukraine just before the war kicked off. And other Jews abroad helped them out. This might sound like blasphemy to most British. This is going to sound awful, but what if all of the British, instead of taking your money to the United States or hiding out in Asia or hiding out in the Middle East, we have the £2 POMs come in here and we kick out all the Africans and we fill those jobs with British. I'm just so that we have the numbers again. I'm just thinking, I'm just brainstorming. Don't hate me too much in the comments. I know that that's going to trigger people. I know, leaving the homeland behind, but there's nobody left in the homeland. And eventually the homeland's going to get crushed.
Anyway, it's a bit amateurish. They haven't organised it very well.
They should have had a band or something, like a drummer or something to lead the group.
Yeah, I think it was all put together pretty last minute. It was all a bit.
Yeah, a lot of people they say it's not very well organized, like what he just said, and there should be this and there should be that. But where's that money going to come from if it's not from a political party that wants your vote? You see, so protesting, turning up to these things is good, but the real action happens when you find a white man that runs a good business in your local neighborhood, and you take out all of the enemy businesses and you make him the richest person in your neighborhood. Then he can fund things on your behalf. You give him the manpower, you give him the wealth, you help him to become the wealthiest person in that area, and then he can then use that wealth to benefit your community. This is what the Jews do.
I don't know why this day was chosen. I wasn't the organising.
Okay, they could have had loudspeakers a bit bigger around, and they could have had a marching band or a drummer at least. Yeah. But anyway,
I don't know what the actual march is going to look like, and there's going to be some formalities at the other end of it.
Yeah, that's what
apparently.
happens.
So maybe they've got a bit more set up over there. So we'll see. The horse roll.
Somebody's made a deposit here.
Yes.
Thank you very
Good,
much.
all right. We've got another live stream
Thank you
here,
very
Chris.
much.
Like Chris.
You have been betrayed.
And a hand mic.
Britain's been betrayed.
Thanks, sir.
Today, Dave, right now, a
Hello,
speaker
Chris.
at today's event.
Chris Coverings.
Shall we walk and talk, given that there's movement to the station?
Is the marching happening?
Word is not around. But do
Now this guy here was promoted as the right wing white guy.
be careful. Landmines abound.
Yes, the mounted patrol have left a gift.
And he went on Avi's stream to argue with Avi, but Avi's only going to promote people that are kind of on his team. They're not going to argue with me. They're not going to even mention me. Firstly, because they know that I'll destroy them. And that most Australians would agree with me. But they'll only put in charge or send clicks to people on their side. I wonder why that is. It's the same as Nick Fuentes. They don't mention him.
For the marches. Oh, smells like the Easter show.
Any drama, any trouble I've missed out on?
No, nothing. Are you just arriving now, Chris?
Am I just
arriving here now?
For a while, maybe
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, best part of an hour, I guess.
Yeah, me too. It's filling up, more and more people. It's a good crowd, good mix.
A few other live streamers as well. No Rebel News. Let me see who's on duty.
Where are all the Aussies?
He's well known at these things. Chris Coverings, if you don't follow him, he is worth covering on stream. He streams all these sorts of protests and things, gets out and about.
That's another
all
good
over
point. That's a really good point. The Aboriginals hate the European white guys, but if we left and the Chinese or the Jews took over, there would be no welfare or healthcare for the Aboriginals, and they'd probably get genocided.
All right. Chris has dragged me out on the peripherals.
Again, that's
of where the march
another
is gonna head, I think.
comment that makes sense. The Aboriginals
be able
would
to
get wrecked.
See the front of the march as it comes
They don't
out.
realize that it's white men protecting them. It's not the
it's the bark.
women. It's the white men giving them welfare and protection. When I was younger,
Police are
my
mobilising heavily,
my mother, because she was a bit of a trash bag,
as we've seen all morning.
would run away, and we would find ourselves hiding out in an Aboriginal community in Taree. Go from the city, go hide out in the countryside. I had one of those childhoods, by the way. Yeah. You know, I made a video on that.
Right over there, roll
Harry
cops.
Triggerboff was in Ukraine before the war, as if Harry Triggerboff, Australia's richest man, who's Jewish, who basically works for Israel, was in Ukraine
let's keep wandering.
evacuating
Chris?
all of the Jews
He'll find me again.
before
He's good at that
Russia
stuff.
invaded, as if he knew that it was
See if we
going
can
to
find anyone
happen.
else who wants to have a chat.
Keep in mind, the Rothschilds funded both sides of the war between Britain and the French. The 100 Years' War was funded by them.
It's like it's the beginning of the march.
Look, argument, okay? That is my argument.
Leading people.
Regroup, find
Seems
a
to be
spot,
bit of the flow starting now.
a
Bit of the
place
flow.
where we're safe,
Sorry, I
because
forgot to
we're
get a
in
hold of my
danger
next one.
now. We regroup, we consolidate our power, we figure out what it is to be, British or white Australian, which is really British.
Okay, people, we are starting to march now.
And then we reorganize and then go back out again. This is what the Jews do. This is what the Jews do.
All right, here we go. The march. The marches are marching.
Yeah, Britain has fallen, and I don't think you're going to be able to overthrow that government. I don't think you're going to be able to take back that government at all. They're just too powerful. You don't have any cash. You don't have any supporters. It's just a ragtag bunch of real British men left, and you're surrounded by enemies. So that's my argument. Like the 2 pound poms, the radical lie.
Live streaming this. We're out on YouTube and X at the moment. Yeah. But good turnout. Hey, are you happy with the turnout today?
Absolutely. Very happy.
Yeah. Before he gets into that, the bringing the 2 pound pom legislation in, and instead of the British men fighting a losing battle surrounded by Africans and enemies, we bring them all here to Australia. They can radicalize the local population and they can work together with us, and we can take back Australia, build Australia up, build up our military, get rich here again, like we always do, and then go back and take Britain back later on, and then kill all of their politicians one by one and all of their descendants. And then we have this massive take back of Britain and slaughter all of the traitors. But if you fight it out in Britain, you're just not going to make it. You just don't have the numbers and you don't have the wealth. They've corrupted the entire country.
Very good.
Did he?
Never been surrounded by so many.
Everybody has.
Australian flags. Do a
John
full
Cleese. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
360.
I just thought I'd put your name up there because I like it. Dirty Dog.
Crazy.
Dirty Dog.
Wild scenes.
There's a dedicated Aboriginal office inside UTS. Well, some of their buildings were built by the CCP.
Pause.
I'm trying to catch up with all the comments. Yeah, I saw that. But I don't think Charles is pro-Islam. Don't get me wrong. It's that the demographics within the country are pro-Islam. People have even floated the idea that white men need to side with Islam. I'm not sure. I just think that we've run out of ideas when we're thinking like that. I think demographics. I think if we could get all of the German men, we would get all the British men, and what's left of the French men, we bring them all to Australia, and we can consolidate here. This is where the money is. Let's be realistic. Europe is finished. We bring the demographics back home. We start here in a new land. What is going on with this guy's stream? He's gone down again. Problem is, Europe is divided. You know, the
Working out
Germans
in
and the
Waltzing Matilda.
British and the French, they're not exactly the same people. That's another thing. That's another thing. We need a safe space because we're being crushed everywhere we go. There's no safe space.
Colourful language present in the Aussie vernacular.
And my issue, Mark,
Proudly
my issue with
representing.
Tommy is that Tommy's not
Thumbs
real.
up from the
Tommy
crowd.
might be British, and he might be from Luton, which is where my descendants come from. But he's a Zionist. All he does is complain about Islam. Eventually, everybody will come to the
quieter at the back.
point where they realize that this is race. It's not religion anymore. You know, even Tommy
Chance to
Robinson,
bring back
mark my words, even Tommy Robinson will come around and he'll realize that this is white men defending what is left of their societies. Yeah, UTS needs an office for white men. We need an office for white European men. You know, this is the type of local stuff that we can do. An office for white men. Over here in Asia, there's nothing here for me. Like I'm living in the Wild West. If I get run over outside, I'll have to go to hospital, pay for all of my I would have to pay for all of my medical bills if I get run over by them, and then they will sue me because I dented their bumper. Like outrageous, because they're racist in Asia. They only protect their own people. These are the same people that are immigrating to Australia. You see? Whoa. What's wrong with this stream? I think Charles is just scared. That's the problem with Charles from the very beginning, wasn't it? He allowed Princess Diana to be murdered. He's always been kind of a coward. He would never say anything publicly that might get him in trouble.
crazy.
I think we're out of streams, guys. All of the Dutch will need a home. All of the Afrikaans will need a home. All of them. Dutch, what is it? Dutch, Afrikaan. Yeah, that's because we've been co-opted by racists that hate white people in this country. And what they're doing is they're isolating us. The British men are going to get slaughtered. I might end the stream here because we kind of run out of videos. I've been on stream for 4 hours now. That's insane. I didn't realize how long I've been on stream for. But I just want to end on this thought. We're being isolated in every country. And if we continue to just fight, the British fight, they're going to lose. The Irish are going to lose. The Scottish are going to lose. The Germans are losing. The French have already lost, by the way. If you go to France, France is 100 times worse. France is absolutely awful. Awful. You know, the Dutch are losing. The Swedish are lost. I just met out the front of my apartment a Swedish guy. He's a doctor. He's with a local girl. She's ugly as fuck. But he's like a good-looking, jacked doctor from Sweden. And he's got this average 2 out of 10 local Asian girl. It's like, you're a 10 dude. You're a king. Be a king. King needs a hot awesome girl. I had a good girl in Sydney. I kind of fucked it up. That was my fault, though. But you know, all of these countries that we've been isolated in, we've got nowhere else to go. And if they keep isolating us like this, we're going to be totally slaughtered in every one of our countries. And demographics wise, numbers wise, we need to pick a country. Glenn, how you going? You're late. I'm about to close up, by the way. I've been on stream for 4 hours. I think I'm already done. James, how you going? No way. There was 6 people? Dude. 6 people. 6 people only. There's probably only 6 Aussies in the whole fucking state. The only solution is to do what the Jews do, and what the Jews did with Ukraine. They imported their own people back to Israel. They find an area and they do it. Oh yes, the billionaire. Yes. I need to actually. There's definitely. Let me explain it simplistically. There's Beyond Traders. Thanks for the super chat. There's too many billionaires, and the billionaires' money is starting to hit each other. So you've got one billionaire has an interest in a business, and you got another billionaire interest in that same business, and now they're fighting for market share. And both billionaires have the ability to fly anywhere they want in the world, and billionaires are ruthless. So simplistically, let's just say you've got an Australian billionaire that has an interest in mining. That same mine or that same industry, there's an American billionaire with an interest in that same mining company. Or it's copper, as an example, just a random example. The billionaire from another country, he will then fund maybe some militants, or he will do lawfare through a proxy to try to take out the business of the other billionaire. This is the hidden war that's going on amongst. So when you're thinking geopolitically, it's not just demographics. It's not just China versus America. It's billionaire versus billionaire. You need to look in deep and figure out what are their interests and where are they going head to head against each other. It's not so simple. It's complex. And this is why someone like myself, I look at South Korea and I go, South Korea is going to get crushed. The billionaires don't support South Korea. The demographics doesn't. Geopolitics doesn't. You see? So we're entering a phase where some billionaires will become millionaires because they're going to lose their wealth. And they're all fearful of losing their wealth. And there's a massive battle happening right now. And they're using all of their wealth to try to take out the opposition. But as a white Australian in your local neighborhood, you need to go down and find a local white man that runs a business, the medical center, the mechanic, the accountant, the dentist, the lawyers. How can I help you to destroy the competition? Manpower, conspire. Nothing is off the table. Absolutely nothing is off the table. Keep in mind, a Jewish tech guy that was working in cybersecurity, he went to Los Angeles recently. He went to Los Angeles and he was meeting up with underage girls. He got arrested. Israel paid or corrupted the American government to the point where they got the guy who, it's one of the worst crimes in America that you can commit, got him, allowed him to fly back to Israel. And the Israelis, they don't care about the crime. They just care that he's Israeli. You see? They don't care about the violence. They don't care about the crime. They will protect their own people no matter how brutal the crime is. They're committing genocide. You've got Israelis in Australia defending the genocide. It doesn't matter how bad it is. In Israel, some of their men were arrested for raping all the Palestinians. All the Israelis went to the courthouse and broke them all out. White men need to become like that. It's the only way we can defend what is ours. Doesn't matter what you do. You kill a bunch of cops, you can hide in my basement. You took out enemy combatants anywhere in the world, we need to help them out. And white men need to start working together instead of working against each other. The amount of parents believe in what is right and what is wrong growing up in Australia, where a white Australian woman would dob her own son into the police for committing a minor crime, that needs to stop, you know? All of that needs to stop. We need to start defending ourselves. But anyway, let me just quickly go through these comments. Beyond Traders, thanks for the super chat. Cheers, James. Okay, interesting. Yeah, like Pauline can be brought back to our side, but you know, I hate to be misogynistic again, but they locked her up and then she sided with the Israelis, didn't she? They got her on some charges, some trumped up fake charges. They arrested her. And next thing you know, she comes out and she's Israel first. Thank you, Bruce. Most of Australia is intact. That's why we need to defend what is left of it, or we'll become Britain. I went to London. I had a look at London. It's a mess. The men are suffering. The men won't coordinate. I'll have to do a billionaire video, but the next video has to be on Celebrite. I just want to cover. I'm just going to react to a video, a really good video made by a lawyer in Australia, believe it or not. A lot of women are quick to attack without having the wisdom to understand why they're attacking. This is why it's funny. You see, like the Russians, they've taken so many attacks recently. Same with the Chinese, yet they've been so mature about it. It's because they're run by men. That sounds misogynistic. I know it sounds awful. I'm aware of that, but it's just true. We're under a threat here. We're under attack. We need to work together, and it has to be rational. There's no other way. Us kings need to stick together. I didn't see the Thomas Sowell speech. I didn't. And it's funny, when people were mentioning Thomas Sowell before, I was thinking about the black economist in the United States, because that's what I studied. I was like, yeah, Thomas Sowell, yeah, I'll follow him. I didn't know he was a white supremacist in Australia. I thought it was Thomas Sowell, the economist. He's an African American economist in the United States. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up. 4 hours is an insane amount of time. I'll check out that speech. Have a look. Neo-Nazi, white supremacist. Look, I'm trying. The Nazi thing doesn't make any sense to me. It has to be a psyop. It has to be funded by Israel. It has to be. It just has to be. There's too much circumstantial evidence, and it's a good weapon to use against white men. But I think white men need to become more racist. There's no other way to say it. We need to be more racist and look after ourselves, because we're running out of road here. We're running out of road. We're running out of time. We're running out of safe places, you know? Anyway, where to go? Racialist, not racist. Look, I want to. I'm trying. The problem is, as a good person, as a good Christian, it's really hard to just be racist. It really is. I'm not really that racist, but I think we have no choice but to defend ourselves. We have no choice but to defend ourselves, and that the only way, if every other race is racist, it's a race to the bottom, and we have to be racist in retaliation to defend ourselves. It's a defense. I don't want to be racist. That's the bad thing. What's the good or the bad thing, however you want to spin it. You know, I got Asian friends. I like the abos. You know what I mean? I've got some Indian friends. I got some, it's really disappointing that all the other races are racist. That's the disappointing thing, is that they will stick together with themselves and they will steal what is mine in my country. And it gets to the point where even people that are your friends are siding with like hate speech against white men, you know what I mean? And they're taking everything around from us. And so we get to the point where we've got no choice but to become racist. It's really, really difficult. Really is a difficult situation. I was speaking to an Indian guy last night, like a friend of mine, good guy. And he was saying how even in India, the southern Indians hate the North Indians. I'm like, well, if you let those bitches into Australia, they're just going to make shit worse here, right? We had a good conversation about that. It's like they're racist against North Indians. How do you think they think about you? It's like, yeah, and that same bitch arrives in Sydney, gets political, and she wants to take everything from me because she's the racist. I don't have a problem with them. They've got a problem with us. We're under attack. And there's no good answer here other than we need to try and get Mark to leave. I don't know. This is controversial. We need to get Mark and all of his buddies to leave Britain, come back to Australia so we can fight together, consolidate power, build a military, and then we'll take back Britain in the future. Keep in mind, China went through 100 years of humiliation before they got rich again. China had to consolidate. We need to consolidate. We need to pick a location. Exactly, because your government's corrupted over there, Mark. Your government hates you. Britain is dead. I was there just before COVID, and I declared the country finished. I went to London. I was hanging out in Oxford. I think I made some vlogs about that. I realized the place was finished. I went to Paris. I like bacon too. Bacon and eggs. Anyway, we need to go. 4 hours is such a long time.